Think about the people who you know are over there. Your freaking stupid Uncle Louie or whatever. They're dumb. They're not like high-level thinkers. They're not academic people. They're not intellectual people. They're the freaking lowest of our low. That's why I came when the president's office says we have the best military in the world, presidents, anybody. I was like, no, we don't. The data is in. We don't have a good military. We haven't been able to beat these guys wearing freaking robes and chakras for 15 years. We haven't been able to beat anyone since World War II.
The data's in?
Well, that is just not an accurate description of the soldiers in the U.S. military and specifically in the U.S. Army. The U.S. military, for very good reason, is the most highly respected institution in our nation because not only of the education level, but of the character and commitment of those that serve. I have to tell you, and you've been around them, the passion that these people come in the Army with and the skills they bring to the Army. We have doctors, lawyers, combat infantrymen, cyber specialists. 17 presidents are former soldiers, more than any educational, civic, or civilian institution have come out of the Army. 450 Olympic athletes, over 100 gold, silver, bronze medals. In fact, next week we will have 9 soldiers in the Winter Olympic Games. So next week we'll have soldiers in Korea earning bronze medals for athletic excellence and soldiers in Afghanistan earning bronze stars for valor.
General, there's a danger, though, because you have cited all facts and you know the quality of people who serve, but you have a bunch of teachers who feel like that and feel free enough to blast you, the men and women who serve. That goes right against what you're trying to do, and that's recruit the best and the brightest for the best country on the planet.
Well, I'll just echo General Kelly's comment that the reason I and my family serve, both of my children are soldiers, the reason General Kelly's family has served is so that people have the right to express their feelings, and obviously he's taking full advantage of that liberty that we fight hard and afford him. I would offer to him, as somebody who is also involved in training and education, I'm sure he understands the mark of an educated person is an open-minded person who wants to learn as much as he can. So I invite him personally to come to my headquarters. I will introduce him to our Army, his Army. I will let him see his soldiers. I'll take him down to the Army Cyber Center of Excellence. I'll take him to Fort Leonard, where we train engineers. I'll take him to Fort Benning so he can meet combat infantrymen, and he can see the quality of people. And then I'll take him to Walter Reed and talk to wounded warriors, and in their own words, let them describe why they put sacrifice above their own personal safety to serve their nation. And then I'll take them with me the next time I have the honor to represent our leadership at Arlington for a funeral, and let him talk to the family members and let them tell him how proud they are of their sons and daughters that serve our nation.
Wow, extremely well said. You might have to keep him from General Kelly, if you don't mind, on that tour, because I don't think he'll be as diplomatic, but great, very well said. First
How about now? Can you guys hear me? We'll wait.
Jackpot.
Money.
Here. Okay, now I hear. Okay, fine. Jackpot. Okay. Hi, WTF Nation Radio, U.S. Army WTF Moments. Sorry for that. I was screaming into the fucking mic as soon as the videos finished playing. Angry. Pissed off. So I had so much sergeanting flying out of my mouth that it deadened my mic. Anyways, what I said is, yeah, hey, oh, thank you. Hi, what's going on, guys? Oh yeah, I gotta do my highs. Hey, what's going on, Katie? What's going on, Holly? What's going on, Andrea? What's up, Al? Spurs, Ross, Thomas. Oh, I see everybody. Anthony. Everybody. Everybody's in there. Woo woo. Hey, Tater's in there. Holy shit. Sorry about that, Doc Madness and Pooks. And Ari, my bad, guys. Sorry about that. We had some technical difficulties, but like I said, there was so much sergeantness flying out that it killed the mic for my initial rank. So really, what I wanted to say was happy birthday. This is the 14th June 2018 edition of Sergeant's Time, broadcasting live from the Functional Veteran Center of Excellence. Happy birthday, Army. And I had this nice, like, all speech and shit like that, and I was like, all fucking feels and all that stuff. And then the next thing you know, there was nothing. I hope you guys know. Fuck you, Cav, man. Yeah, I know. There was no sound. So, anyways. So, happy birthday, Army. Congratulations on your 243rd year. I had this long speech already set out, but it was improvised. So, I don't know how to re-improvise my speechness and stuff. So, anyways. So, how you guys been? I got Spurs and Mom with me.
What's going on? How you doing?
Fuck, man.
Hey, y'all.
So, Jose pissed me off today. He sent me some stuff today that really had me irked. And he said, "Ice, check this out." And I like, there's no way. This isn't possible. This is not what would happen. There's no way that this happened. Well, what is this debauchery that you have sent me? I might as well just jump into it. Happy birthday, Army. So everybody knows we like trash and USAREC. Why? Because they're USAREC. There is no ifs, ands, or buffs of what's going on with USAREC. Everybody knows the way they do things. It's just odd. So throughout my work here at the station and doing U.S. Army WTF Moments admin stuff, I get emails, and stuff, and people send me shit and all this other stuff. And I got this interesting I got something from the nation, and it was, Ice, you're not going to believe this, but my unit was just tasked to provide so many amount of personnel. I can't be specific on the numbers because they'll be able to drill that down pretty quick. So many personnel to be a special recruiter program. I'm sorry, special recruiter assistance program. And I'm like, what the hell is that? And the individual said it's like hometown recruiting, but it's supposedly better. And I'm thinking, okay, well, so what's the big deal? I just do what everyone else does and throw that stuff out to the force, and then there you go. Somebody could do it, and you have some Joe, and then that's it. No, that's not how it works, Ice. The Army's so short on recruiters, and they did not meet the retention goals, that balls are getting broken pretty heavy at fucking HQ. And so USAREC, what they did is they sent out a tasking to the Army, a request for tasking throughout the force. So TRADOC, FORSCOM, all the comms that are under the U.S. umbrella, they were tasked through a crying request, a request for support from USAREC. And I say crying because, hey, look, if you have a used car sales mentality, I'm just quoting Jose's script here, a used car sales mentality, you have recruiters interfering with family affairs to get that fucking number, and their supervisors going into it. You have toxic treatment of said recruiters, then, yeah, you're going to have some issues. So what ended up happening is that this tasking went out, or actually request for tasking. Help, we need help. So when that happened, units out in the force are getting requested or getting tasked to provide bodies to help the recruiters out, just like hometown recruiting. But it gets better. Oh, it gets real better. They are demanding your bodies. So it doesn't matter what type of unit you are in. And one email that I received, I can't believe this shit. They are giving me no choice but to give up soldiers, and what I do for the Army is critical for the Army's stuff to do Army stuff. So if something were to happen to this thing because I'm being tasked to do that, it will severely degrade this type of capability to assist. Oh, man. Are you serious? Pizza? Are you fucking for real? Hang on. Somebody's freaking knocking on my door. No shit! Hang on. You guys talk.
I got you covered. I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of on the fence about this. I mean, I understand that the taking away from the unit is hard on the unit and the training and everything else. But then again, the dotted line, we all went to, training in the very beginning to, hey, needs of the military, right? All right. So, I'm all about, helping out the rest of the Army, though. So, I mean, if it depends on the numbers. I mean, if we're across the board, we need to pull some people to maybe get some better blood out there than than some of these lazy recruiters. Then let's do that.
Man, so it was Juserek. Holy shit. And we are here to see ice, please. Can we have speak through the ice? All right. Where was I at? Oh, yeah. This program. So basically what they're doing is they're tasking. So the individual that was speaking to me via email, they're getting tasked. So in other words, they are tasking soldiers, and they don't care where, because their commands are being told, we don't care where from, for certain critical Army infrastructure type shit. So in the event something were to happen to that critical piece of infrastructure, well, you have requested so many manning of personnel to get this information. To get these bodies. And speaking to other individuals of more senior, decided to play something more, a little bit more, I guess you could say, okay, Usurek, you want some bodies? We'll give you some bodies, all right? So they gave people that were like ETSing. People who had like less time in service, on the overweight program. And I'm like, dude, you're really gonna do this? Yeah. What are they gonna do? Fuck them. Fuck it. What are they gonna do? So, God, I can't believe you guys are hilarious, man. You guys are saying, yeah, it was you, sir. You freaked me out. You freaked me out. Really thought it was you, sir. So, yeah, exactly. See, you got freaking, you got freaking. The veterans report saying that a recruiter spoke with a recruiter today. He said he was in Ranger School. When he got back to his unit, he was told you got orders for recruiting for a month. Now, look, yeah, exactly. That's the Army for you. Here's the thing that upsets me is that no one did any type of analysis to see how this was going to impact the Army. So what they did is they shot out some freaking brief to say specifically what it is. To, hey, this is the issue. This is what's going on, and this is what we got to do. And they sold it to the Army, and it's going to cost money. So Jose, through his, of course, his tamale contacts that he has, if you go ahead and pay attention to Facebook Live, I'll give you go ahead and give you a heads up of what exactly this seeking assistance to meet the FY18 recruiting submission is. So basically what it is that the objective is the special recruiting is to support the Army's belief that everyone has a responsibility to help the Army's recruiting efforts and mission. You could not have write any better comedy than this. Everybody needs to do their part. The Army needs to do their part. They have to do this. It's your part. Everyone has a responsibility to help the Army recruiting efforts. This is for the Army. You have to understand. It's for the children. You ever hear that?
It's for the children.
It's for the children. That's like the immediate fucking excuse for everything to fucking go wrong. So first they give the obvious bullet. The fiscal year ends on the 30th of September, and the Army needs to be, increased to meet the increased fucking 483K in strength. So 1,000 soldiers are needed to provide recruiters support to assist.
So they just. I'm trying to read this. Is there any specialists through staff sergeant? Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, you send a bunch of specialists out there
Yeah.
because that's where your numbers are going to be. All they're going to be is the gophers for the recruiting command.
Yeah, no, that's all they're going to do because they're not recruiter qualified, right?
Right.
They're just going to be shamming the fuck out.
Yeah, exactly. They'll be going to freaking, the local strip club and,
Spend that TDY money.
spend that TDY, that mad per diem. But it gets better. But wait, there's more.
Wait, there's more.
There's more. In an exclusive slide brief provided by El Tamale, he has provided more information to include all the amount of costs that's going to be.
Say again?
The amount of the costs. In other words, it's going to provide a central billing. Well, take a look at the next freaking graphic there. $25 million. $25 million. 25.
Some expensive strippers.
That was about $25 million. Do you know what barracks could get renovated? Oh, by the way, the studios have informed me that there's going to be a Mad Barracks video going out, that it's going to encompass all videos of barrack issues throughout the Army, overseas and everything else. So when that happens and the studios releases that, that's where that $25 million can go to.
Yeah. I mean, think about how much money just when you hire new people, that each person costs money to train and to, maintain, to pay them and shit. Sounds like the Army got budget bump.
Well, they got a budget bump, but you're seeing where this is at. Because it's everybody's mission to do their part. Everybody has a responsibility.
No, everybody wants a fucking chunk of the change, is what it is.
Wait, so I'm also reading here that the special recruiters, these specialists that are going to be going, they're going to have a $10,000 increase, or excuse me, a limit increase to $10,000.
Yeah.
Man, these strip clubs are going to be popping.
Special specialists.
Wow.
Are they going to get a specialist tab?
They're going to get a super specialist tab.
With a green beret, off-colored.
Is that the SFAB? I tell you what, it's because you know what the SFAB is doing.
Jab.
The daily jab with the SFAB. The SFAB is doing better recruiting efforts than USAREC themselves.
Yeah, but that's because they had fucking all the money and the keys to the castle thrown at them, and they're like, we want you to mass produce special forces, and that's what they're doing.
Well, because you can't produce soft in a
I know. I chose my wording very deliberately.
There was some wordsmithing there. So, anyways, if you guys continue to look at, soldiers will use DTS, the battalion, USAREC's battalion S1s. So once they get the names to those attached units, they're going to be attached and forward a copy of attachment orders to the SRAP soldiers unit of assignment. And then if they're released early for any reason, then the USAREC battalion S1 will prepare a release order and provide copies to the unit. So, I might lose my ex-wife to one of these guys.
How does that work, though? I mean, I'm assuming it's non-essential.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Like I said, emails that I have and information that I have as well, there are individuals that are serving critical Army capability systems that are being told you need to give up names. That's
fucking insane.
It is insane. I'll say this. It is over an amount that you would think, why would you do that to an organization? Why would you cripple an organization that provides that type of sensitive capability for this shit?
Dude, it's gonna be a knee-jerk reaction. Obviously, they're gonna over-recruit because you can't stop a train. That's what she said. And it's like, what the fuck, dude? This is very, very piss poor planning.
What? Everyone's fucking blowing up my shit with my fucking chat. What? Pick a fucking chat to be in. Then I'll fucking answer your questions. Jesus fucking Christ. Fuck. 415-889-8367 if you want to give us a call. I'm pissed, dude. Of excellence. Exactly. This is fucking annoying. I can't believe that they're doing this. I can't believe that somebody at the Army G3 said, let's task out trade-off. Let's listen to USAREC first off, and then after we listen to USAREC, let's send a tasking out to the force, and then ForceCom says, because everybody needs to do their part for that's the byline. But it gets better.
So is this the whole army, or is it?
This is
just
the whole.
trade-off?
This is the whole army, brother. This is ForceCom. So ForceCom deals with all 10
that's
divisions of the army.
different. Shouldn't it needs to be, if anything, they should just pull like trade-off. Even though, but I mean, you know what I mean? Like that's the next. This should be the next reasonable place to pull from, since that's who's.
No way, homie. Their dicks don't touch. No, their dicks don't touch their ass.
No, I get it, but you don't need to have that big of a dick to recruit.
Well, check this out. So, it doesn't matter. Let's put it this way. The unit, let's put it this way. If it got to the unit of the individual that contacted me about what they do, if it got to them, then you know they're scraping. Let's put it that way. They're involved in contingency operations and shit, and they are getting tapped. It doesn't matter. We have to support because we need to do our part for the army. It's everyone's responsibility.
Dude, we like live in a day where Elon Musk makes fucking portable flamethrowers.
I know, brother. I can't wait for the next set.
Hiring a bunch of specialists to go do this shit is fucking. It's not gonna be effective. Like, there's like much more effective ways to do this.
No.
Fucking dinosaurs, man.
No, I'm telling you. But
we're going to send the fat bodies and brokens out there to try and convince the young and youthful that they need to join the military?
No. That's what one of my friends who of position said he's going to do.
Okay. Well,
he said he's going to send. He said he's going to send his. He said he's going to prove a point to the army that profiles and people who are non-deployable can do this job. So that's where you need to get your pool.
Is that is the penance going to be handed out by like DA voluntold?
Yeah.
People like get orders in their fucking inbox, or is it going to be like the unit?
No, it's going to be it's going to be the unit providing names of individuals, and the units are going to send them up. They get sent up through their channels, through their G1 channels, and it gets sent up through the freaking Army channels, sends up through the USAREC channels. Once USAREC has these names, and you know how USAREC is, once they got your name for anything, they got you. They're gonna get you.
That's at least that's better than like being, handed down orders by DA where they have like absolutely like no oversight on the actual unit's function. So, you know what I mean? Like where they could say just that's what I think there will be.
There what? There's a tab for this?
Yeah.
They should make one. To improve recruiting efforts.
Oh my God, I don't think so. WTF Nation Radio, you're on the air. Are you a recruiter?
I was.
Oh, you were? Go ahead, send it, man.
This ain't gonna work.
Oh, I haven't even gotten to the juicy part yet, but go ahead and continue.
Well, if you go out, if you look at the thing, they go 3 referrals per week. And they got 1,000 people out there a month. That's 3,000 people per week that they're hoping to get.
Oh, well.
It comes down to 12,000 people.
Yeah, exactly.
I could drill this down the rabbit hole very quickly if you want me to.
Oh, no, actually, I'm glad you brought that up. As a matter of fact, let me continue this. You can stay on the line, too, while we go over this, too. This next one's going to be an awesome one.
Okay.
You can stay on the line. I don't care. This is going to be good shit. So now what they're doing is they're going to incentivize this. And what they're doing is once they have that information, what they're going to do is they're going to produce lead cards for soldiers to annotate request referral information. Same thing, whatever recruiters do. I'm not a recruiter, so I don't know. I have no idea what they're going to provide a training packet for them, and then provide presentation items for companies to distribute for the soldiers to use during a community engagement. So there's more to come. So there's more. So in other words, these are going to be assisting out, but there's more for, like, imagine like freaking details for a show. Imagine for details for soldiers doing whatever. It's going to come. Now,
Okay, so
it gets better. Here's what happens when these soldiers are doing this task. One referral that ships within 60 days, and it's an Army Achievement Medal. 3 referrals is an Army Commendation Medal. 5 referrals is an MSM. Exactly. Failure to do at least 3 referrals per week to the assigned recruiting station will result in termination of that TDY. Isn't that what they do to recruiters anyways?
Hell yeah, dude. Fuck them.
well, here's the thing. Now, if the current force is trained and cannot get this done, what makes them think that a force going out there for 30 days, untrained, can get it done for them?
Oh, they're going to have a training package.
Motivation.
They're going to have a training packet. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, man, this is one of those
Online suicide prevention course.
if you have your SSDs filled out. then,
Wait, so if they don't refer anybody because they're on profile or they're overweight, they refer nobody, and they get kicked in the nuts, so they get a Purple Heart?
Well,
They're not getting kicked in the hearts. They just poop in the ball, whatever. They're apparently just gonna get sent home, right?
Yeah. They're terminated. Their TDY will end. Their mad per diem will end.
Oh yeah.
So basically, you're already getting someone an incentive not to do any fucking leads, any 3 referrals.
I think that part of the setup, it's good.
Not the awards.
Reinforcement.
No, but not the awards.
Yeah, dude, I think it is. Because the cheese dicks that are going to be good at recruiting, they're the kind of people that, like, jerk off to their fucking award ribbons before they go to bed.
More than likely, yeah. Well, you got to think about it too. Imagine some specialists. Imagine some specialists coming back with, so like he has 1 referral, and then he has 3 referrals. So already he's going to be looking like a Korean War general after 5 referrals, because he's going to have an achievement medal, a commendation medal, and an MSM. So you're going to have some little specialist, and not realizing that you're doing this. You know what you're doing when you do this. You're setting yourself up to be picked by USAREC to do this to be a recruiter in the future. That's what they're doing.
Well, yeah. It's very sly on their part.
Yeah, it's very so instead of filling out the ask, which is the assignment satisfaction key that is on your AKO, what they're doing is they're now, fuck it, we'll fill it out for you because you've been tasked. So they're making the units do this.
Recruiting.
By forcing commanders to degrade the capabilities of our Army. Happy birthday, Army, 243 years.
Happy birthday.
And you're going to, I'm saying, like there are guys that are literally, holy shit. One, like I said, a friend of mine said, I'm going to send them I'm sending the people that should be going over there. Profiles, non-deployables, because I need to deploy my guys and gals.
Well, yeah, and I think it's good, man.
That's good for
big picture.
If they accept that. But if they accept that,
they fucking should.
Well, I'm saying, but if you are in, let's say for instance, you're in a key capability of the Army, and you have something that is, say for instance, you have 15 people in it, and they're asking you to give up, 8. You've already over half of your fucking capability what you need.
I mean, at those certain situations, I would say that's like the leadership's responsibility to reach out to like hire and be like, look, this is an oversight. My shit is like critical to the Army, and it needs to be wavered.
Brother Doc, that's not what they're going to do. They're not going to do that. You got to remember, if a 2-star general from USAREC sent this tasking request to the Army and gave it to the chief of staff of the Army, who's got more stars than him, and scared the bejesus out of him to task FORSCOM and TRADOC that you need to give up your bodies for a special hometown recruiter, what incentive are these guys getting aside from additional shit on their GTS? So their DTS, what's going to happen? So a special is going to be what?
No, I'm just saying, in situations where that tasking comes down to dudes that are in some critical fucking function units, then they should, you know, do whatever it is that they do to like address it.
Well, I'm sure
like, that's the unit's leadership responsibility to fucking go to their fucking hire and be like, this is an oversight and it needs to be fixed.
Correct. Don't say I'm reclaiming this thing. I'm not fucking doing it. What's up?
Yeah, I'm not saying like.
What were you gonna say, caller?
What I was going to say is, when you have an organization that mans your organization, they run it. I was told that a long time ago when I was a recruiter, as a young recruiter, and that's what I was always told. And it's not called the mafia for a reason. I mean, they call it the mafia, and that's what happens.
Well,
when USREC says jump, everybody else says how high.
Exactly. Oh no, we know. We get it in the inbox until I am removed from this position. USREC will always be on blast. Until I see people singing freaking. Until I see the rate of suicides and the rate of alcoholism and the all the drama and behavioral health issues that are happening in USREC go down. Then I'll stop fucking with them. The only reason why I don't fuck with too much units is because some of them are, it's like you said, some of them can't help it.
I don't blame you. You got to have a hobby.
So how long were you a recruiter?
Longer than I care to admit.
Wait a minute. Is this the USREC Sergeant Major?
Negative.
That would be some good. No. That would be another WTF Nation breakthrough if we had the USREC Sergeant Major on.
Negative. I run the Truth Army recruiting page.
Okay. Gotcha. Hey, Doc, you're like. There you go.
Background's a little.
Sorry, dude. So sorry, man. I was retard mode kicked in, and I wasn't sure which button was mute. Like the icon, right?
Yeah.
Is it on, or is it the icon when it's off with the microphone splashed through it?
Yeah, gotcha.
It's fucking retarded, dude.
Gotcha. I hear you, man.
Down syndrome, Microsoft fucks.
Yeah. So when you were a recruiter though. Because we get in the inbox all the time. Were you subjected to some of the like hate fucking emails and you better do this and you better do that or you know what I mean? Like you had guys that had never been in a line unit in the Army or had not been in a line unit in a long time, just straight treat you like shit.
I wish I had saved all my emails because you could write a book with some of the stuff you get.
I'm sure you can. Did you think that at any time did you feel, how can I say this? Well, I mean, yeah, did you feel like there were some careers that were probably when they showed up to be a recruiter that you're like, wow, these guys were studs coming in, and then by the time they left USREC, they just hated the Army?
Oh, yeah, but it's always up to the individual. I've had me personally as a station commander, I had great success with people who were actually infantry that came in to do the job. A lot of them were very squared away. I've had signal people that were good at the job. I've had MPs that were good at the job. Some of the best people at the job, believe it or not, were those paper pushers, the S1 people. They could whiz through a waiver like nobody's business. You know, they could get everything done, signed, sealed, delivered in less than a day. But, you know, with the system the way it is now, you got the computer system is always down. You got doggone, you know, they got to get fingerprints now. They ain't just going out there and running around getting paperwork no more. You have to, there's a whole process that's got to be followed. And it takes about 72 hours from the time you find somebody to get them projected to be at MIPS.
So you're saying that everybody in the S1 shop should be a recruiter?
I ain't gonna say that because I had some pretty sour ones of those too. I mean, they were good at paperwork. They were just sour and pissed off all the time. But
most of them are.
Fuck yeah, dude. Most S1 shops that I've fucking ever had the misfortune to deal with.
I had one female. She couldn't recruit for nothing, and I just finally got pissed off with her one day and said, "To hell with it. Just sit here and do all these waivers." And I went out to a high school, one of my recruiters, and we came back, and she had a damn stack of packets on my desk. I'm like, "What is all this?" And she's like, "All the damn waivers you told me to do. I got all the police checks done. I got this done. I got that done. Here's referrals." I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, dude.
I found you a new job.
That's how it should be, though. That's part of being like a leader.
No, that's called
in an
talent
organization.
That's called talent management. That's called talent management.
Leadership.
AKA
leadership.
Yeah, so yeah, exactly. You're seeing that part of someone's capability that they're weak in one way, but you know they're good in the other. You're able to,
train to strengths.
Yeah,
That's
exactly. But wait, let's give them an award that you normally give somebody who's a senior NCO for so many years of service or something really squared away. Dude, that giving an MSM for 5 referrals, really?
I like it. I like it.
What? Are you for real?
I really like it, dude. I think that it's like the whole the depth to it, as far as like that'll pinpoint the exact people that are going to be like career recruiters that are good at it in the future. That's the dudes that are going to get picked up for like permanent assignment to that shit.
Yeah, exactly. They'll get picked up a permanent assignment, or what they'll end up doing is they'll end up, that will be a discriminator probably for them to do it for promotions. You know what I mean? When they become a senior NCO.
I was gonna say that too. Like that's the only downside to it is in the future it'll potentially impact promotions.
The Army promotion system's so jacked up on the way they look at people. Before they used to, like when the war first started, when Infinity War started, then that's when it fucking that's
Infinity
when
War.
No, for real, that's pretty much what it is. That's when you had you could tell you got people who were deployed, and then you see guys who, I don't know, almost 18 years of war make it through all the ranks of the Army, and they don't even have a deployment patch. And you're like, dude, where were you? Oh, well, I wasn't gonna do that shit. No, I didn't want to do that shit, or I had college to go to. Yeah, or I wasn't recruited. But I know recruiters that were trying to get into the fight that were told no because we need bodies.
Yeah, dude, but it's not gonna last. Like, if you're in for 20 years, it's way too. I don't know. There's way too many opportunities to go to war.
Have you seen the Army Times article?
You know what I mean?
Which one?
Over a long enough time, it takes. You should be able to, if you wanted to, you should be able to go to war if you really wanted to.
Yeah. Well, let's look at it from a different side of things, though. I mean, this really shows USAREC's confidence in their own recruiters. I mean, look at this. They don't think that their own recruiters can get 5 referrals that'll ship within 90 days. I mean, that's confidence right there in USAREC going, this ain't happening, so we might as well make it look like it's easy, but it's not gonna be.
I really don't think this is a good fix.
I think it is, man. I think it's almost unattainable. Like, that's it's not like a combat award. It's not like even awards, dude. Like, dude, even fucking.
Let's put it this way. Okay, well then let's look at it like this. Say me, I was an angry little buck sergeant. I know that's hard to believe, but I like being a buck sergeant. I like being on the line. I like doing buck sergeant shit. And now you're gonna get me, and you're gonna task me because you know that I'm squared away, or you know that I'm good at whatever. And this would be a good idea for Buck Sergeant Ice to do. So we're gonna send him out there. So they send me out there, and the next thing you know, I'm pissed because I'm not sergeanting, and I don't have my troops with me, and I'm not leading, and I got to go and process packets for somebody who's lazy as fuck and doesn't want to be a recruiter, or like you got our caller right now who's a station commander and says, hey, look, Sergeant Ice, come on, let's go out, and he assesses that I might be a good recruiter. Now, I is because I know how to lead, or B, I got the gift of gab to talk shit. I'm still gonna be pissed. Oh well, Sergeant, I should do so good that, bam, the next thing you're stuck in recruiting. That's what I see it. I see it like a fucking the carrot on a stick, and you get to the carrot, and they're like, "Oh no, we're putting a stick in your ass too."
But I mean, if you're retarded.
Go ahead.
No, I said, but the way Branch chooses these people is it's kind of crazy, and that would be a whole other program that we would have to go into.
Oh no. They're already considering removing the position of trust requirements for recruiters now. So that secret investigation that you got to go through to make sure that you have no sexual assault investigations, IG complaints, anything bad in your records, EO sharp, whatever that falls into that realm in your career. That's going to be going. They're considering that going away because everybody needs to do their part and be a recruiter and help in the readiness and retention of the Army. They're just doing it wrong. They're just doing it wrong. And like you said, Doc, dinosaurs just need to get out. There needs to be a flush at that fucking the mentality of getting people. The Marines don't have to ask anybody.
Happen, though,
no, I'm saying, but the Marines doesn't have to ask anybody. There's like a flock for people to join the Marines.
Yeah, it's incentivized by dress blues.
Well,
I mean, that's all it is.
Well,
now we're gonna incentivize it with fucking MSMs for specialists.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd do it for pinks and greens.
Oh my God! Did you just freaking say that? All right, hey caller, we gotta go. We gotta get ready for the next segment. All right, thanks for calling.
All right,
have a good one. Really? Did you just say pinks and greens, man? No way, dude. My point being is that it is other services. I don't know what they're doing for this, but I know this is bad for a force that is already short. You know what I mean? I get it if we were fucking full up. Well, we have. Look at some of these bloated ass commands that are out there, anyways. Think about it. All the comms: Indo-PACOM, AFRICOM, EUCOM, STRATCOM, SouthCom. Do they really need all those people there?
They'll tell you that they do.
Oh, of course they do. Of course, because it's for national security, or whatever.
I think it's
projecting power, yada yada, ready to fight tonight bullshit.
Nobody's. I think that what I'm getting at is that you're partially pissed off that it takes away from you're kind of saying that it takes away from the value of the MSM.
No, no, actually, all the awards. So now you're basically what they say, because look, the Army award system is already bad as it is. There are, and we have posted it on the main page already, that there are commands out there that place rank on a requirement for any award while downrange. Could you imagine how many medals of honor probably could have been, or valorous awards could have been awarded to individuals? And think about the individuals that were awarded the award now. They were the ones that defied the chain of command and told them to go fuck themselves, and that's how they got the Medal of Honor, and there were witnesses. How many awards have been sent up through packets that because that individual was a staff sergeant or a sergeant, that was a Silver Star, that was a Distinguished Service Cross, what have you, name your junior rank, and there is some colonel up there that is butthurt on a board. We have to have a board to decide what is considered valorous and what is not considered valorous. Are we talking Bataan Death March valorous? Are we talking D-Day valorous? Are we talking to commiserate with the time right now? I know many stories. You know the stories as well about Iraq and how many guys stood in front of freaking Suet VBIEDs and lit them up before they were blown up, and nothing happened to them.
I don't know, man. Awards are for the dead, I think.
Well, I mean, if you're in the Army for the awards and you're in the Army for, you know what I mean, then that's you're in the wrong profession.
Yeah, that's precisely what I'm saying. And,
but what I'm saying though is that you're limiting. So that kid who was the best marksman down in the unit, or that kid that won best ranger, or that kid that did whatever and was a stud to his unit, is now going to be equal to that 42 Lima, or that Fueler, or NBC guy, or name your MOS that got shoved in their commo kid, that for 3 referrals he's going to get the same award as if he won the freaking best ranger competition, or the Army Commendation Medal, which I don't know, just to seem the way I see it, the award system is already messed up. Dude, as it is. You're adding more drama to it.
Award, like the fucking thinking, like an Arcom for winning Best Ranger, it's fucking stupid. Like,
No, but
no,
you
I'm
get
just
what I'm
saying,
saying though.
saying
It just
that doesn't.
no, but
That's
you're looking.
like the army. That's like the army pogues.
No,
with
but
their awards that are like, we want to participate in the Best Ranger.
No, but what I'm saying
here's
though,
an award.
but I'm looking at something that is more above and beyond what your normal duty requirements are for you. I mean, I'll be honest with you, my old ass couldn't fucking do the Best Ranger competition. So if I fucking got it and I won it, and okay, cool, and then I got an award, then cool, because old fuckers like me in their 60s aren't supposed to be doing shit like that.
Yeah, dude. The awards, like when you get awards as somebody who's not a fucking shitbag, you're just kind of like, it's another one. And throw it into a box. But like the people that you want in recruiting that aren't going to kill themselves, that can do this fucking job, they're the ones that you want to like create these insane motivators. And I don't know, man. I don't think that the 5 referral thing is very attainable.
Well,
and
I'm just really shocked that we're having right now a history on Sergeant's Time where me and you actually disagree on something.
Yeah,
I'm just looking at it though. Why doesn't the Army just actually make a specific entry level MOS for recruiting? That way, it's not a special duty. You bring, but then you have
any awards, and people won't be like jerking off to them.
Well, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Why doesn't the Army, for the first 2 years of that soldier's enlistment, that's like you don't have your, like when you graduate AIT, why don't you just send them out to be recruiters for a little bit to help them out?
Yes,
because
go directly.
That would be actually good. I could go with that. I could go for that because they're not even to the unit
man.
yet.
That's like, no. You fucking ruin somebody for life.
Like you do the same thing when you
ended up not being good at it.
Well, or then you fucking send them on their way.
Or
you give them 6 months. You give them a 6-month evaluation at the recruiting station. If they suck, then guess what? Then they move out. Then they're gone.
But that puts a black mark on their career.
No, you use them as a detail dummy. No, because when I have a soldier, when I have a soldier for clean sweep,
it's not gonna look like that.
When I have a soldier for clean sweep and he fucks up the grass, what am I gonna do? Fucking, relieve it for cause or something like that? No, you're gonna find somebody else who knows how to mow a lawn.
Yeah, but
that's the same thing. It's the same thing. I'll see it like a detail.
It's not when it comes from like DA. Not when you got like whatever like commands with orders involved. Like the new unit's gonna get a Joe that's like not compatible or whatever fuck phrasing they use. It's still gonna be like a black mark on their like initial career, like as soon as they come in.
Jonathan in the chat, he just said entry-level recruiters don't know enough about the Army, but that regardless of where we're at right now.
No, this is exactly. Go ahead. I know exactly what you're saying. You're going to say next. It doesn't matter because USAREC doesn't give a fuck.
Right, USAREC doesn't give a fuck, and they're going to be pulling people from units anyways, whether they're a specialist that has been in and you have to be in 2 or 3 years with a waiver.
You could come in as a specialist with a degree.
And boom, you're already in the Army as a specialist. So I mean, they could directly put you in there. They don't have to know about the Army. All they have to do is just, hey, you want to come join? Look at this awesome uniform. Yay, you get money. Yay. That's all they have to do. They don't have to know.
That's what they have to do anyway.
Right. When I was
that's exactly what it is. It's sales.
It's all it is providing as little information as possible. If you start talking, you're going to talk yourself out of the sale. Just provide the opportunity and the benefits and let them make the right choice, which is joining. It's easy.
Well, we did a test. U.S. Army WTOs did a test. And we put in a soldier in the Army. Our own way. We had a WTF Nation first. WTF Nation put in a soldier in the Army on our own. We, of course, had the assistance of recruiters and knowledge of recruiters to arm themselves, but they did it. That individual's in the Army right now. Going through boot. So, I would say the technique is different. So, anyways, we're going to take a break. We got our guest coming up from the Texas Veterans Commission. Y'all can't wait. And then when Bryce gets on, we're going to go on the air so that way Bryce can get set up, and then we'll be ready to go. So everyone get some shots, and we'll be right back.
Warning shots.
Shots.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Take it from me, Ice. You can't just float around space not caring about stuff forever.
The voice of U.S. Army. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Shit in the bag, Pogue.
You say I walk on the truth.
wipe the pain from your eyes. Can you make it to the other side? Begging for anything, hoping that you find it. If you bleed, you won't feel it, you won't see me at all. You can fight, but you can't hide that you're naked. I know they you leave me nothing. I know they you leave me nothing. If you bleed, you won't feel it, and you won't see nothing at all. And you can fight, you can hide that you're naked. If you bleed, you won't feel it, you won't see me at all. And you can fight, you can hide that you're naked. If you bleed, you won't feel it, you won't see me at all. And you can fight, you can hide that you're naked. I know they
I am here determined to stop this future atrocity.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe. I suggest we use it.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Good evening, boys and girls. This is Tim Kennedy. I'm a Special Forces sniper, a Ranger qualified Green Beret, a UFC fighter. Please listen to us and the shenanigans that we're going to say. We will insult you. There will be racial slurs. We will be sexist. We will offend you. But there will be magic, and a unicorn will be raped. So enjoy the show. Thank you for listening on WTF Nation Radio.
And we're back with part 2 of Sergeant's Time with our guest, Bryce Dubee, right? Not Dube, Dubee, right?
Correct.
All right, exactly what it sounds like. Someone said it was Dube. I'm like, no, it's Dubee. From the Texas Veterans Commission. What's going on, man?
Oh, not too much. How are you doing tonight?
Good. Sorry for my rant. This first segment. I don't know if you heard it. I don't want to scare your members of your organization, because I was going off on how some of the lack of the recruiting efforts that we're having in the Army today. It's crazy.
Don't I wouldn't even worry about it. We got to make up shortfalls somehow. So,
so tell us about the Texas Veterans Commission. I know you guys just recently did a women's veteran commemoration, or you guys did a little celebration there on the 12th.
So we didn't actually do it. Basically, what happened on the 12th last year during the legislative section, the actual Texas legislature passed a law that was basically declared June 12th to be Women Veterans Day across the state of Texas. Governor Abbott signed it last year. So this year was our first go around to really do the whole big statewide celebration. So we did stuff in Austin, Dallas, out in Houston, San Antonio. It was probably cities all over the state were doing different things to commemorate women veterans.
Yeah, I heard it was pretty good. You guys had like some bands there, presentation of colors. You guys had a little ceremony going on.
Yeah, it's a bunch of different things. Houston, they went crazy. They threw some block parties and had a whole bunch of stuff. There were some big events up in Denton and Dallas. It kind of depended. Different communities did different things. And as we get going, definitely want to address the elephant in the room. One of the things that we've definitely gotten feedback on is the whole, well, why do women get their own special Veterans Day? And
I was about to. Wow, you just You just asked my question. Yeah, why do they? Go ahead, go for it.
Yeah. So big thing here in Texas, we've got more women veterans than any other state in the country. It's about 180,000, and the population's actually growing. I mean, which makes sense as older generations of veterans are passing away. women in the current generations and things like that are coming out, and they are joining, they are serving, and they're coming to Texas. So we wanted to help draw some awareness to that. After the law was passed, the big thing we see is it's less of a it is obviously honoring the service of women veterans, but it's also to draw the awareness to some of the things that are unique to them. Like the thing that floors me every time I look at it was, let me pull up my little fact sheet here, but women veterans are actually 2.5 times more likely to be homeless than any other population in the country, civilian, veteran, anything. And that's huge. And the more we can do to really help out with that and to draw awareness to those types of things is really a big deal.
Now, is it more like a societal thing on why that statistics is so high? I'm not asking you for a direct whatever, but I mean, what do you guys think it is?
There's been some different studies, and some of it, one of the things they see, because you do see stuff like, well, you don't see a lot of like homeless women veterans on the street. A lot of them do kind of almost like a couch surfing and things like that, because they may have kids with them and they want to stay out of like the shelters and the systems. Because if you have a kid over 15, your kid gets separated off into the general, especially if it's male, he goes off into general homeless population. So we do see women veterans out there who are like, well, can I crash on your couch? Can we stay in your spare room? Can we do a extended stay motel, stuff like that? So it's a lot, almost an unseen issue.
Now, do you guys provide that type of service in the that type of resource?
So we do a couple different things. The quick elevator pitch. Every state has an agency like the Veterans Commission. First and foremost, we are not the VA. We work with the VA. We have a great relationship with them in a lot of ways, but we work for the citizens of Texas. Every state has something similar. If you're out in California, you may have heard of CalVets.
Yeah.
Every state's got something. So we'll help veterans if they come in. We'll file claims. We'll help them find jobs with education benefits. If they're starting businesses, we got a mental health program. But with some of that homeless stuff, one of the big things we do is we do grants. So we're not going to, as at the state level, run homeless shelters and provide some of those services for housing transitions and things like that. But we'll absolutely fund grants to those local communities, whether it's in Austin, Houston, Dallas, wherever, and give them the money so they can do it.
You guys got a lot of grants. I'm looking at some of your stuff right now. Tell us about the Hazelwood Act stuff.
So Hazelwood Act, it's kind of the best kept secret about Texas. For all the folks out there who are listening, if you enlisted in Texas, if you join the military in Texas, when you come home to Texas and you become a resident back again, you've got 150 credit hours of exemption waiting for you at any state school.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Tuition exemption. What does that mean? That means you're automatically going to get 150 hours towards anything.
If it's at a state school, yeah. So you want to go to University of Texas, or you're going to go to any state school here in Texas. Your credit hours for that tuition are exempted. Now, it doesn't cover like your room and board and things like that, but actually paying for class it's waived.
Wow. Now, what if you were stationed in Texas and you were a resident of Texas, and would that sort of apply the same way?
Unfortunately, no. So the intent behind Hazelwood was that it was set up as actually, ironically, to y'all's previous conversation, and it's a enlistment bonus, incentive almost.
Incentive, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what can we do to get Texans to go out and serve their country, and then make sure that they also, because you have to be a resident to take advantage of it. You can't be living in Michigan and then be like, oh, I'm going to do it online. You got to be a resident back in Texas. So you can send folks out, they go serve, they come back, and then they can go to school. And they can actually transfer it over. It's the Legacy Act, which we have on our website as well. Those 150 hours go to your dependents as well.
Wow. So it's almost like transferring, like how the Montgomery GI Bill, you can transfer but that was only for Texas.
Yes.
You had to have joined the Army in Texas Nation. Don't freak out and start changing your residency right now, like you just said.
No, it's that little origin station on the front end of it. So
that's awesome. Now tell us about the Fry Scholarship.
Oh, I actually am not an expert on that one. I am not an education expert. At the end of the day, some of the stuff I am I'm the PAO, so I can kind of talk broad on some things.
Okay, well, tell us about yourself then. You said PAO, then okay, go ahead. We love PAOs.
Oh, I know, and we love y'all. I was one in the Army too. Well, I wasn't a PAO, but I was public affairs, enlisted. Did 13 years active duty. Left out of Fort Hood with the Cav, which I know y'all guys love. So.
Hey, I'm Cav. It's all right. That's why they call me Spurt.
God. So then what? You just decided to how recent was that?
I got out in 2016, so it was pretty recent. It was the right time for me. It was everyone has their own reasons for staying or going. Some folks are like, you did 13 years. Why didn't you do 20? I was like, it was good for me, and I had a good run. Had 3 deployments. I was just like, you know what? I'm happy here in Texas. I'd met a girl in Texas. I've since got married, so
the truth comes out. My exes live in. Sorry.
What club did you pick her up at?
Actually,
that's fucked up.
I met her not in clean, so.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so she wasn't a Rancier. She wasn't Rancier royalty.
No, and she is listening, so I'm gonna be very careful.
I
sorry.
apologize ahead of time.
Yeah, there you go, dude. Wow, come on. You know you're not supposed to have your family listen. You talk about it afterwards. That way, you're not on the spot. So there's several initiatives in Texas. I did not know that the Texas lottery system, paid into the bet. How does that work?
So with that whole grant thing that we do with the funding, it's the Fund for Veterans Assistance. And basically, there's a couple different ways that folks can contribute to it. And all that money goes to those grants I told you about. Some of them go for, it's the Housing for Texas Heroes program, so that can be home improvements. We do things with homeless shelters. We do things for a bunch of different regular charities that help. But the rule is the nonprofit has to provide direct services to veterans, and they have to be able to show it in their financials. Where all that money comes from, a lot of it's the Texas Lottery. We actually have a scratch-off ticket in the state of Texas. It changes every couple months, but there's one, and it actually says supporting Texas veterans on it, and we pull the money. I think it's like 25 cents off the dollar on every ticket for that. Texans, you can also go out and when you're renewing your driver's license or your hunting and fishing license or your vehicle permit, things like that, there's a little box on it. If you've ever renewed your license in Texas, it said, would you like to make a donation? That's where all that money goes to, is to the Texas Veterans Commission's Fund for Veterans Assistance. And I think we're at $90 million since in the past. I don't remember when we launched, but it hasn't been particularly long.
Well, but that's ingenious because a lot of the times when you go get your driver's license, they ask you if you wanted to donate to your local representative or something like that. That's the first time I've ever heard any DMV ask you if you want to donate to the veterans. That's just amazing. So and you're incentivizing the lottery ticket. Well, what's the prize level on those scratch offs? Can you send us some scratch offs? So yeah, exactly. We need some new equipment. So how'd that come about? Anyways, who's that? Thinking about that, I didn't even think about that. The veterans assistance type of stuff using the lottery. I know the education lot. So is it pretty supported? There's nobody saying no. That's you're legitimizing gambling. Blah 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 blah. Nobody comes up with that flack.
I haven't personally heard of it. I mean, it's veteran support in Texas. I am, full disclaimer, not from Texas. The Army sent me here. But it has become my home. I've been here for 5 years now. I am floored every day by how much support there is from just the general public, from the legislature, from just kind of everybody on some of these things where they throw these things out here and it's like, yeah, let's do a lottery ticket, scratch off ticket for veterans. I think actually, though, I was talking to someone the other day about it. I believe it's Kansas did one as well, and that's where kind of the idea translated down to get passed into a law here to set all of that up. So other states actually do similar programs.
I'll have to do some research on that. I did not know that.
Yeah. I know Oregon does. It went up on the ballot a year or two ago, and it says that a certain amount of all lottery proceeds will go to veterans programs here in the state of Oregon. So it's pretty neat, and I'm impressed with Texas too for doing the same thing. I don't think Oregon has one specific scratch off. It's lottery as a whole, a certain percentage. So
no, I'm just again, anytime you're kicking some cash over and you're doing that, you're buying a lottery ticket that you could win some cash yourself. but the purchase of that ticket, whether you win or not, is going to a vet. I just think that's I didn't even think about that. That's a pretty novel idea. Now, I know there's been a lot of commissions and a lot of studies coming up around the country about the use of medicinal marijuana. Are you guys for, against? We ask this question to everybody who comes up because of the argument's sake, I guess you'd say.
You're not just picking the guy with the last name Dubee.
You know what? I didn't realize that. No, actually, this is one of my questions for real. I didn't realize that you just said that, Dubes.
Yeah, no. So long story short, we're a state agency, so our job is to follow. We take all directions from the tower. So that's an issue for the legislature to take up. That's an issue for the citizens and the voters to take up, and we'll follow whatever they choose to do on those types of things. So we ride the middle on all those types of specific topics.
Did you okay, have you heard
that was a very PAO
that was a very PAO question. That was a very if they bring up weed, shut up. Is there inkling? Could you tell us some? Can you tell us, as you, Bryce, have you heard it around the water cooler, around different veterans organizations that you work with and some of the partners about that?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm in a hotel room in Dallas. It's the big state VFW conference. So all the VFW posts are in here, and I had someone come over to us today and actually ask the same question. And he was wearing one of the hats for one of the leaderships for a post, and he had a question about cannabis. And I know we've seen other discussions. We'll see it occasionally through our social media. Folks will ask about it. So there's definitely a conversation out there. I don't know what direction any of it would take. But I have seen people talk about it.
Are there some individuals, and not in your organization, but are you seeing the legislature? I wouldn't say the old guard. Are you seeing at least some sort of change when it comes to the position of medicinal marijuana? Are you seeing it?
I'm trying to think. Like
have you had some old timer go, "No, we're not going to pass those pitch of hippies," and denied. You know what I mean? Have you had that argument, or you have had somebody from the old guard? There's some old veterans. There were some old school Texans that they don't want. They don't even want to talk about any type of legislation for legalizing. And I was just curious: have you heard, or have you seen some of them at least change their mind, or at least look at it?
Honestly, and one thing that's tricky is because I got out in 2016, and as we all know, when you're in, you don't necessarily pay too much to what's going on in your state legislature.
Of course.
So Texas is weird, where we do legislative sessions every odd year. So I've only had a chance to really watch one session, and I know there was some discussions during all of that, but we got another session in 2019, and we'll start hearing the buzz for whatever's happening next soon. But I personally didn't pay attention as enough as I probably should have on that.
No, because it goes off and on in Texas, though. Sometimes it'll be a hot button issue, and then there will be somebody that will get arrested somewhere because they're authorized to have medicinal marijuana in one state, and they come across the border not realizing that Texas it's illegal. You know what I mean? You can't bring it over, and this was back when it was an issue. With a lot of it. So is Texas, is cannabis legal in Texas still, or is it not legal? I need to...
definitely no.
Shut up, Ice. No, it's not. Got it. It's not legal.
They did pass. I know they've done some things, and I'm, again, not the legislative expert on this stuff. I know something was passed to do something with the cannabis extract for treating a specific case of they passed the thing legalizing using something for epilepsy for children. There was a thing they did this last session. I heard something about it on news radio or something like that. I know some movements were made towards something, and even that was controversial, but again, it's absolutely not my wheelhouse, despite my last name.
Well, I'll tell you what, if it does pass, you better call us right back, Dubes. I'm telling you, hey, can I come back on? It's passed. No, but the reason why I said that is due to the fact that I would hope with the amount of, and it's going to lead me to my next question, that I hope with the amount of the way it's being seen at the national level and at the VFW level and the American Legion level, that I would hope that you guys, this is going into your mental health programs, that would be an avenue would be the would it be I guess you would say, would you be amiable to it?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the great things that I actually love about my job is, especially when you're talking with some of that mental health piece, is there really is kind of what they call the no wrong door approach. So like we support all sorts of different programs already if it's related to mental health, whether it's that equine therapy. I was talking with some folks today about like the Project Healing Waters and like the fly fishing stuff they do with veterans. And I mean, I think folks here do a lot of different things. It's surprising. Like, I mean, you think Texas, you don't necessarily think like, oh, we're going to do like a PTSD yoga group. And we have folks running those.
What?
Yeah.
Yoga? Is that what? Is that why you brought him on here, Mom? Because the yoga aspect? I'm not doing no damn yoga mat crap. I'm just saying. I'll do the fly fishing stuff and the equine therapy, but I'm not doing no yoga mats. So
why not?
Well, God, that's exactly that. Why not? Because I don't want to hear why not when I'm sitting in a yoga room when I'm yogaing, and I want. That's what fishing's all about. That's what the horses are all about. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Bryce.
It's okay.
So can you tell us about some of the mental health programs that you guys are working with?
So the big thing that what we've set up, and we've worked with another Texas agency, the Health and Human Services folks. It's our veteran mental health program, and we have a couple different aspects to that. One is our peer network, and that's actually set up across the entire state. We have peer service coordinators, and they actually bring in local mental health providers who work in those communities, and they're really tied to that local community, and it's either county-based or city-based or town-based. And we have coordinators that kind of bring all of them together. We get them all certified and trained so that they know how to speak on veterans issues, because they may be a talented mental health coordinator, but they may not have some of those special skills for talking the talk and understanding some of the differences in the language and just kind of coming in. And so we provide some of that training and certification for those service providers so that they can speak to a veteran and not just get that shut door in the face when they say the wrong term.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I'm totally with that. I'm all about the no. There is no wrong door approach. But what I don't see is that are you guys. I'm not saying not seeing it from you guys, but what I don't see generally out there is that you guys provide the from the moment of intake. What would you do basically for the moment of intake all the way to the? Can you give us an example?
And that'd be something, probably a real good conversation for some of our mental health folks. It is for us, a lot of it, we don't necessarily run it at the state level. There's definitely things that there's conversations about doing a better job of almost case management. But this is primarily because it's a peer network. It's done in those local communities. We found that that's really the strength to all of that, because we don't want to have, especially in Texas, like no one's going to listen to the guy from Austin come down to your community and try to give you talking points on mindfulness, or like they want to hear from the guy who's in the town with them and really kind of have that community effort to everything. And that's really kind of the way we do it. We definitely have some state programs as well. The big one we have a fantastic justice involved veteran program.
What is that?
Justice involved? We don't. So when if you find yourself involved in the justice system, and that's when we have some of that we track that a lot more as far as things, but it's set up in a way that it's not just the veteran courts and the veteran treatment courts and all of that. Texas actually even has a veteran dorm. So there are inmates out there who are veterans who are can apply to participate in this veteran dorm. So they're sent to a specific facility in Texas with other veterans, and they have an opportunity to go through treatment together and talk through things and work through all of that and kind of help ensure that they have a successful transition out of their incarceration back in, and also at the same time deal with some of those things that are maybe tied to what they experienced while they were in the service.
So it's basically a facility specifically for veterans, and it's dealt with. I mean, do they have? Because I know in some states they have veteran courts, but I didn't know there was a veteran facility.
Yeah. I mean, because even with veteran courts and things, I mean, there are people who will end up facing jail time. I mean, that's the reality of it if folks commit a crime. So this system, and it's growing right now. It's one facility, but it's a place for a veteran inmate to be able to get some of that treatment. And it's not necessarily special treatment. They're not going in to get AC and special meals or anything like that. I mean, they're in jail and they're in prison, and that's the reality of it. But they can get access to services that can help them deal with trauma they may have faced while they were or experienced while they were in the military.
Has it been contributed to some of that though? Have you guys discovered by going through that type of system that more than likely it was something attributed to the veteran service?
And those are the folks who we identify. It is it's for folks who have who are trauma affected related to military service and things like that. So it's a specific. It's not just someone served in the military necessarily and then got locked up. Like they work through all of it, and we have case managers. We even just brought on a justice involved veterans employment coordinator, so that he works with employers and with the veterans to connect them so that they can actually be transitioning out into employment on the outside.
So with that, is there requirements like they can't be, a certain level of offender,
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. So there are stipulations to that too. So a guy going in, for life because he murdered somebody might not qualify?
Yeah, that would be a fair statement.
Well, yeah, no shit, dude.
Well, hey, I'm just trying to figure out, where that comes into play. If it's low level offenders or.
Well, I mean that's what some of the crimes would be, anyways. I mean, unless it was like somebody straight raging or something like that, and it was it was a capital crime, then obviously you can't sit there and say, oh, PTSD or whatever, because you by that point you should already know. You know what I mean? It's just me. That's what I think. So.
Yeah, and it's a lot of it's tied with we see with like substance abuse and things like that, and it is that kind of downward spot. You get out, falling in with some substances, lose a job, bounce some checks, commit a crime, wind up within the system. Well, let's get them back on. Let's get them back on track. So
exactly. No, exactly. No, we've had previous guests tell us that a lot of it is the shock of, because we had the guys Chris and Bobby from Freedom Hard. Talking about it's the shock of transition that usually gets vets in trouble, is because the Army or just the military in general does a real quick way of getting you in. You're going through everything's steady state, and then when it's time for you to leave, they process you out, and then blam, they try their best to do civilian transition, but that's usually where guys get in troubles because they're thrusted out into the civilian force or civilian life, and they don't know how to handle it.
Oh yeah, that's really where we step in on those types of things. I would tell anyone who's getting out in Texas, one of your first steps is to come see a TVC office. I mean, we're located all around the state. Whether it is the employment piece or it is the thing we haven't talked about, filing a claim. I will beat up every veteran about go file a claim with the VA or get someone to don't file it on your own first and foremost. Go get an advocate, whether that is the Veterans Commission, whether that's the VFW, whether that's Disabled American Veterans, whoever it is, get someone to file on your behalf, because we come across folks all the time who got out after Vietnam and never did anything, and now they're trying to get health care 50 years later, and I'm like, we can try.
Yeah. So now tell me about that. That's actually one of your healthcare advocacy programs. Can you tell us about that?
So the healthcare advocacy is a little different. So what that is if you're in the VA healthcare system, and I don't know if any of y'all use the VA or anything like that, but people hear stories and things like that. And my experience personally with the VA has been great. I think a lot of it is anecdotal. I'm sure there are horror stories out there, but there's probably there are tons of folks saying good things about the VA too.
Of course.
And that's not me being paid to say anything. That's just my personal experience.
Of course.
But when there are some of those little hangups, we do have healthcare advocates in place who can help with things like prescriptions and appointments. And so for folks who are using choice and need to get those outside referrals and things like that, they can go through our healthcare advocates and they can negotiate that system for them, and not have to deal with all the VA necessarily issues that you may get tripped up on and get frustrated and just then not go get medical attention.
Oh man, I'm telling you, it was one of those things that it's hard. Veterans get frustrated. I know when it comes to filling out something that's strange for me, I get frustrated and say, what is this crap? You know what I mean? I got to fill what? They want this, they want that. Hell, I can't remember what I did last week. You know what I mean? And then the veteran gets frustrated. And that was my dad. He got frustrated with a bunch of stuff. And so he just would rather not deal with it. And I would preferred that. I mean, and it was already by then he was old enough, and it was already mostly, it was a little bit too late because he had died of Lou Gehrig's disease. It was one of those things to where, had he not been so stubborn, he might have been able to get some treatment or at least have had quality of life, for what he had ailing him. And it was just on top of course, other stuff too. But so, I mean, because I know you guys, I'm going through this right here, and it says you guys help out with the appointments and healthcare related assistance, pharmacy assistance, attending outside referrals, fee basis referrals. I mean, how do we not know, guys? How do we not know about these dudes and gals? Well, I'm serious because I'd never.
We have a 5-person marketing team.
Oh, okay. Well, you guys are welcome. No, I'm serious. You guys, no, I'm just. I mean, I knew Texas. I never had. You always hear stories. You always hear the rumors when you're out processing, or when I've seen soldiers out process, because I'm still in. So when I process soldiers out, and they are like, oh, well, first sergeant, blah 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 blah. I'm like, oh, really? So what's going on with this? Well, the state that I'm going has this, this, and this. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And then, it'll be one of those things to where you're thinking, what? There's no repository. There's no place where you can go and say, oh, well, Texas does this. It's almost like this. You have to hunt for it. You guys, I mean, I can look at it right now. You can buy a lottery ticket. You can go through the education employment programs. You got grants and funding, healthcare advocacy, mental health. All my exes live in Texas, man. I think we should just go ahead and start busting out these guys more often. TVC.
Yeah, no, we'd definitely love to talk to y'all more. There's a lot of stuff out there, even just general transition stuff that we provide, that like a lot of what we say, especially on like the claims front and things like that, it's universal to every state. We're part of a big national organization. Every state has, even to the territories, we have a big meeting every year, and you meet the folks from everywhere, Virgin Islands and Guam, but like everyone comes together, and all the states have some sort of program that's similar, at least.
Yeah. I'm just fascinated that, again, I'm overwhelmed at the amount that Texas does for veterans, and I'm even more now overwhelmed because you actually have it written down. This is pretty cool. That was one more question I was going to ask. You guys are hiring.
Yeah, I mean, there's generally jobs. They're not necessarily they're location specific, obviously, because we do have a lot of folks kind of spread out. It's mainly on the claims front a lot of times, and on the employment front. So we have 2 different employment folks. Some of them work with what's what we call veterans with significant barriers to employment. I won't go into all the details on it. It's on our website, but it's veterans who have certain disabilities or have been out of work for extended periods of time, stuff like that. And they get one-on-one counseling. Like, let's sit down, let's write a resume, let's line you up with some jobs, let's work through all this, figure out your skill sets. We're always hiring those folks. And then their counterparts are the employer. They're called leavers.
Yeah.
But their job is basically to go out and talk to employers and go, hey, here's why you need to hire veterans. Here's a bunch of great veterans we got for you. Let's make that connection together. So we hire a lot of those folks. We're always looking for claims counselors as well. They are the ones who really do a lot of the legwork for getting veterans in the system and filing their claims and doing all that paperwork. And that's the person, if you come to a TVC office in the state of Texas and you sit down and go, hey, I want to file a claim because I busted my knee in Iraq and it's been bugging me for 10 years, they'll write it down on a piece of paper, they'll do all the paperwork, and they'll send you off to get your exams and all that.
Now, has it been pretty good with the VA when it comes to some of that processing? Have they been pretty good about receiving stuff from you, or they just look at you like you're just another VSO, or what's the reception from the offices down there?
So because we're the state agency and we're .gov and that whole thing, our claims offices are actually located in all of the VA clinics. So our guys, when I email them, they're the VA networks. I can't give them thumb drives, which is annoying. But but yeah, no. So they're located in the VA facilities for the most part. We have a couple of folks in other areas, but so they come in. The VA wants us to be there. Because of the fact that they're not the ones who are filing the claims, and like when you do, you're still in now, but when you do get out and you go to file a claim, you go to the VA's website and it will tell you, it'll be like step 2, now go find yourself a VSO. Like, do not try to do this on your own. So that's where we step in and we follow the paperwork. And it's not even when I say all the paperwork. I went and did my claim last year. I've been at TVC 2 years, and I did it last year, so you can do the math. But I went in and I didn't know what to expect, and so I went to do just kind of the normal way. I was like, let me just see what happens. So I just showed up with my medical records and said, I need to file a claim because I banged up my knee in Iraq and a couple other things. And I literally filled out a piece of paper. You sign over a power of attorney, you list off, they go through your records with you, you tell them what you want to file a claim for, and then you're done. It can be a little more complicated with older records, but for the younger veterans out there who are transitioning recently with brand new records, especially if you're under 365 days since your separation. I mean, I was in and out in under 45 minutes, and I had a decision back from the VA. I filed in May and received a payment the first week of September.
Wow, that's awesome! Holy crap!
Yeah, it is not the process people think it is. And to that, there's always another case out there, but you're not waiting years or anything like that for a decision. The backlog and all of that thing. There's for appeals and things, there is a longer time, but filing that initial claim, as long as you make your evaluation appointments, it really is it's in very few months.
Now, when the state, when you do this and you have an issue like it does, like, say for instance the VA comes back, does it have more I guess you would say energy when it's the state saying no this needs to be fixed? You know what I mean? You're normally, when you get an appeal back and you say, because you guys put your stamp on it, does it bode well better for the vet going it that way, or does the VA say no, shut up TVC, this was still going to happen? You know what I mean?
I mean, the appeals process is still the appeals process with all of the appeal courts and all of those types of things. I would say, and it is not a knock on any of the other services out there, VFW and everyone does some amazing stuff too. The one advantage you have with some like these state organizations is because we are co-located, so we can jump on the server and check the status of that claim we don't have to file requests or do anything like that. And it's like, oh, well, let's pull up your file right now from the VA and see what the holdup is. And there is definitely that timeliness benefit to those types of things.
I understand. Totally understand. Now you got a boss. Who's your boss?
Well, I've got a bunch of bosses, but our boss at the end of the day, well, we do have a chair. We have a chairman, and we have a group of commissioners. The way it works in Texas is our commissioners are all appointed by the governor. We actually just got 2 new commissioners appointed this week. But at the end of the day, we answer to the governor of Texas, Governor Greg Abbott, and he is our boss. But we have an executive director who runs all of the day-to-day for the agency.
And that's Mr. Palladino, right?
Yeah, Tom Palladino.
Yeah.
He's
saw him on TV.
Yes. And he's our boss, and he runs everything here, and he's another Army guy. But then we have our commissioners, and then it kind of translates out from there. It's the one thing that's really great about TVC is, like, I don't know the exact number, but it's over, I think 90% of our staff is prior service, and they're not all necessarily from one branch, and they're not all necessarily officer. It's folks who they were an E4 when they got out, to a retired sergeant major, to a retired colonel. So it kind of runs across the board, and it's kind of neat to be able to talk to everybody. And they get it when they're out there, and then you can kind of see everyone really is like, they were in the same place as the veterans were trying to help.
Now, you guys also were you guys have this TexVet org. What's up with TexVet org? What is that? Is that part of your assistance chain there?
So TexVet's our other side of the catch-all on things. So we can help link folks up to all the actual state government services. TexVet is another. They are funded through the state of Texas as well, and they do an amazing job. They capture all of those local services. So if you're living in Harris County and you want to find out, well, what are the local things available to me here in this neighborhood? What's in my community that I can find? You can search through their site and actually find out all the nonprofits and all the organizations that are helping you in a bunch of different topics, whether that's financial aid or healthcare assistance, whatever. But their job is to really be that curator, I guess, for veteran services.
More like a facilitator, I guess you would say.
Yeah, but for the non-government stuff necessarily, or if it's like the county stuff and.
Now, how aside from that, do you guys receive any other funding from the state aside from the other, aside from what other resources you have, or that's the only way? Do you have any donations or any links to like you guys don't take donations, do you?
Our fund for veterans assistance actually does take some donations. You can do, if on our website there is a direct donation in addition to the driver's license stuff and things like that. There are some other things that I think I am not sure offhand though. Actually, I really should know that one.
Yeah, that's okay. No, I posted your link in our Facebook live chat, so it's pinned to the comments, so that way you can anybody can jump on your site and browse around and check it out.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, no, the fund's kind of the big one on all of that. There's a lot of different little things with some of how certain things work with a lot of these community partners that, like we just saw with this Women Veterans Day, that was amazing. It was a lot of the we only really sponsored and ran one event in Austin, but the communities ran with a lot of it, and then we all kind of pooled like information resources and collaborated on like press releases and things like that together. So it's a lot of community support for some of these external events.
Awesome. I'm looking over your site right now. I'm just flipping through it. I just can't believe that. I did not know Texas was so informative. You got anything else you want to ask them there, Spurs?
Yeah, well, I'm looking back here. So, circling back to the women's veterans and things like that, is Texas doing anything for? This is kind of a loaded question, but my grandma was in Texas during World War II and down in San Antonio, and she wasn't in the military, but she was actually a prison of war guard down there. And so I was wondering if there's any assistance or programs or anything like that to recognize those women that were helping out the military in that same time, because they were they weren't, but they were in the military. So do you know of any programs down there?
That's honestly a really good question. That's really interesting. I'd never even thought about that. I would say, honestly, shoot me an email. Y'all have my contact information. I will run something down on something like that, because that's neat and like worth pursuing. If there's something out there, we'll find it. And that's one of the other things. If folks ever do have questions about their services in Texas, shoot us a message on Facebook, tweet at us, email us. We're always responding to things. If you have questions, you can call our hotline, 1-800-252-8387. That's a switchboard for the whole state of Texas for veteran services that we do. So, yeah, like I'll find out that answer personally. I owe that to you.
Yeah, it's pretty neat, because she was actually down there as a prisoner of war guard when she met her husband through, and the only reason I know this is we just received her letters, but the soldiers back then would receive a list of pen pals, and typically they were the opposite sex, and had a little brief description of who they were, and they could write whoever they wanted to. And that's actually how they started their relationship. He was off in training, and then came back around when he came back up from training before he deployed. They met down at the Alamo. We know exactly, the tree is still standing where they met, and he proposed. They got married 3 days later, and then he shipped out, and he went over and he rode on the India-Burma line. Yeah, he was Cav too, and
oh my God, you had to throw that in there.
I had to throw that in there, and actually, they stayed married until he passed away, 96. So, but I mean, it's just an incredible story. But she was right down there in San Antonio, and and prisoner of war guard and everything else. So it would just be interesting if there was something to recognize those women that were around in that period of time. She's 96 now, so 96. So if there is anybody else out there that had somebody, a grandma that did that type of stuff, or if there's programs for them. So just neat little bit of history for the area.
Yeah, that's really cool. But yeah, I will find out an answer for y'all on that one, because that's super cool.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Sure.
Well, hey Bryce, thanks for coming on. We totally appreciate you representing the Texas Veterans Commission. You work for the state. You are a .gov, not a .org. So
Yes.
I just want everybody to understand that, and we popped the comment there. We pinned your website on there, and of course, we've also tagged and shared your page on this post here. So, and of course, you can go back to your boss and say, look, here's the podcast and all that stuff. and the front desk will help you out. But we really appreciate you coming on, Bryce. And if there's any updates on anything, you're more than welcome to come back.
I would love to come back, talk to you guys. There's so many other things out there. I didn't even get into all the stuff with property taxes and land loans.
Continue. What do you got? We got 2 minutes. Go ahead.
So Texas also does some really great things with your property taxes. For disabled veterans, when you get that disability rating, there's a sliding scale in there as far as what you can do is for some relief from some of those property taxes. If you're like me and you live in Travis County, Texas, where the property taxes are significant, it can be a beneficial thing, but it goes all the way up to for 100% disabled. Actually, with property taxes reductions, I think it's 0. But there's a lot of different.
Is it Texas resident, or you have to be natural born, just like the recruiting thing?
No. That's if you're a disabled veteran. And the only thing that is if you joined in Texas is Hazelwood.
Okay.
Anything else, I don't care. You can be from Oklahoma, you can be from Maine, you can come from wherever. If you live in Texas,
if you're disabled in Texas, then if you're a disabled vet in Texas, your property taxes there'll be no property tax on you.
If you're at 100%, if it's everything else, it's like a sliding scale. So if you're at like 40%, it knocks off like a certain ratio, and it's spelled out. There's a whole thing, and you do it all through your local county, but it is definitely a benefit of Texas. The same with with the disabled veteran plates. There's some things with parking and toll roads and all of that for when you get your DV plates. And then we actually have a partner agency, the Texas Veteran Land Board, and they actually do a bunch of home loans and land loans specifically for veterans, with some pretty good rates and things like that.
Damn.
I'll find that link because I'm wanting to get out of here, so I'll come down and take advantage of those.
Yeah, dude. Wow, that is. Well, there you go. Wow. See, wow. You guys need to update your website with that stuff. I'm telling you, I didn't even think about it. I was like, again, I didn't think about that. I mean, realize that you guys are more of a .gov. Now, if we were to say, hey, we have something to give you or something like that, would you be able to track it down for us and get back with us, and we can just post some stuff on our page and say, hey, look, Bryce from the CVC.
I will run stuff down. That is my job. I'm on the communications and outreach team, so I will communicate and outreach in any way I can.
Awesome.
So yeah, we get questions. Like I said, with people send us messages on Facebook, I'll respond to my wife can attest to it. I'll be there on like a Friday night at like 9. I'm like, hey, hold on, this is important. I got to take this, and I'll go in the other room and be chatting on Facebook with some veteran somewhere in Texas. Like we're there to help in any way we can on that stuff. So if you've got stuff you want to find out more about, let us know.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Well, Bryce, again, thank you so much for coming on. And again, anything else you got, just please keep us informed. You're a welcome. You're a welcome comeback. You just tell Amy and the gang, the front desk that you have something for us, or there's new initiatives, or there's even a party or something like that for like the Women's Veterans Celebration. That's awesome. So if you have something like that, let us know too. We wouldn't mind sharing it.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, we appreciate it, and I'm happy I made it through this whole thing without cursing.
You could curse. That's what I'm saying. You could curse. Yeah. Oh, no, nobody said you couldn't cuss. Or are you trying? Or you're just.
Well, I'm assuming my boss may listen to this at some
point. Gotcha. No, I understand. I understand.
No. But yes, fun times, guys. I appreciate it.
Do apologize to your wife again for me because I didn't mean to call her a stripper.
Dude, she's gonna kick your ass.
I still have another day in Dallas, so.
Oh man. Don't give her the podcast yet. Just say we were mean to you in the green room or something like that. All right. Well, hey Bryce. Hey, thanks for coming on, and we really appreciate you hanging out with us.
Hey, appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
All right. You have a good one. All right. That was Bryce Dubee from the Texas Veterans Commission. We're gonna take a break, and then we'll be back to shoot the shit with more main page update shots. Shots.
Good evening, boys and girls. This is Tim Kennedy. I'm a Special Forces sniper, a Ranger qualified Green Beret, a UFC fighter. Please listen to us and the shenanigans that we're going to say. We will insult you. There will be racial slurs. We will be sexist. We will offend you. But there will be magic, and a unicorn will be raped. So enjoy the show. Thank you for listening. on WTF Nation Radio.
Take me, you pull a pistol and I'm shooting for trying to contest me. I got a quick second to make a deadly decision. The media betrayed me like a kid for a living, like I'm cold with no heart, a brain with no thoughts, a body with no feeling, a life with no cause.
Like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see, and like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see, and like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. I'm damned if I do, and damned if I don't. It's like every single time I say what's on my mind, they go from my throat, they spew evil words. If you are absurd, always grinding, grinning, and killing my soul with these verbs. Hold me down, like I can't gasp for air. I'm closed inside of a box, like I'm inside Fort Knox. Every time that I'm there, I don't know why they think that I'm different from you. All that's true is I'm a like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see, and like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see, and like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see, and like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see, and like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human.
Hungry for another taste. You stumble around the time you waste, and your table's overturned. Sooner or later you crash, then you burn. I think I wanna die tomorrow. Are you gonna be with me? I think I wanna die tomorrow, 'cause I'm out of time and I'm out of my mind. Simple ways come and go. Still I love the way you turn me on. Just can't find the words, 'cause everything I say sounds so absurd. I think I wanna die tomorrow. Die on a breathing man. I think I wanna die tomorrow.
The bitches, they love visuals.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
Jimmy John's.
Man, we're back. Welcome back. Yeah, nobody Jimmy John's me. We're back with part 3 of Sergeant's Time on WTF Nation Radio. Thank you, Bryce Dubee, for coming on. Good. Oh man, that was a good guest. Oh man, good pickings there, front desk. Good job. I was quite relieved that we were able to get somebody from the state, because we rarely get any state representation. We always get VSOs and stuff, but we never get a state rep, which is awesome.
Thank you for the thanks, but this is all on our PAO.
What? Oh, snap. Oh, Flash. Okay, well, snap on Flash.
I just did the rest.
Okay, well, thanks.
That was a little PAO on PAO action.
I was about to say,
yeah. I think that's it.
I can't believe you said his wife was a stripper. What club did you get her from? Damn, dude. That's kind of like, he's from the state of Texas. He's probably going to write your shit down. It's like, all right, who's this guy? Where was he at? What were his comments? Oh, man. But, yeah, anyways. Yeah, it was great. I did not know a lot of stuff. My eyes, being a resident of Texas, it was, to me, enlightening to see that, all that stuff. I'm like, I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. It's exciting.
There's a lot of opportunities for veterans down there, and that's a big draw for us.
I mean,
the cost of living is definitely better than up here, and and everything that when it comes like the toll roads. I mean, if I can get a relief on some of the toll roads.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. No. It's not how can I say? It's not a bad thing to want some of that free chicken. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that, because anybody else would do the same thing too. Everyone else was like, who would not want to get a deal on anything? Anyone's like that, right? You don't have to be a veteran or not. However, if you get some of that free chicken, and you're a disabled veteran, why wouldn't you do that? Nothing wrong with that. I mean,
I couldn't agree more. I mean, that's half the time, a lot of these guys are coming out of the military and, like, I don't want to go take the government's money, the VA money. And, like, dude, people are being taxed
for this
regardless.
Money. Yeah. People are being taxed for this money, and you don't, you should at least take advantage of the fact that you're entitled to it.
And if you don't, and all that money that doesn't go to you, it disappears. It becomes notional, non-existent money at that point.
No, actually, you Spurs, it'll be for you, not it'll be nothing for you, because they found out you straight up are like freaking. They called a PAO stripper. Find out when he's moving in. We'll have the Texas Rangers at the border wait for his ass. That's what's gonna happen.
That's all right.
But no,
I can still ride the border. I got my horses.
No, but again, it's awesome. Thanks again, Bryce, for coming on. And like I said, it's rare that we get. I'm telling you, that was a state. This wasn't. That's why I mean, I should have said it in the beginning. We kind of like tap dance around, and then we kind of said it towards the end. But he represents a state organization. Well, that was the state of Texas on WTF Radio. It wasn't like I said, it wasn't a group. It wasn't a VSO. It was the representative from the state of Texas. I think that's awesome.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty cool. It's hard. It's hard when you exactly that, cause you have that attitude. I mean, even I'm still in, and I find out what I can get. I just feel bad taking it. You know what I mean? Buy one get one free though, right? You go to the grocery store and you buy yourself one of them buy one get one free chips or something like that, or you're gonna buy one get one free, right? You're gonna get free chips. Yeah, exactly. So that's the way I kind of see it. But if you're a veteran, that's kind of like your class of doing it. Don't get butthurt about it. Again, I'm going to feel bad because I don't, if you look at my POV, it doesn't have all that stuff on it. I don't have affliction, tap out, and also the crap on my fucking, back window. I don't have my DD214, or I I don't have my uniform on my back window. I don't. I just look like a nondescript dude. Just, you know, okie dokie.
Wait until you get that DD-214 blanket and you start to miss it, and then all of a sudden the stickers just magically appear one
actually, because I get a lot of because here's the thing, it's always good when your like family gets you some stuff, like if you have your family members and they send you a T-shirt, and they think it's cool, then that's cool. But if you're outwardly going out to scream that shit out, that's just me. I guess what we could say in my field, shooter's preference. You know what I mean? If there's some people that want to walk around, they can say that. They can walk with their T-shirt saying they're a veteran. Fucking A, yeah, be proud to be a veteran. I just don't choose to walk around with freaking all that crap. Again, now if I get some promos and some freebies from Black Rifle Coffee or Ranger Up or something like that, you best believe I'm wearing it. It's good. Some of those shirts are good. You know what I mean? So, or my kids have given me gifts from for something like that. That's different. But I'm not gonna walk around and like, scream that stuff. Oh, look at me, my back window. Affliction. You better represent. VA sucks. Everybody sucks. Shut up. Yay. That's just what it seems like. It's like you're coming over the top and just the way it is. Anyways, go back to what I was saying. Great to have them on. State of Texas. It's always, of course, all my exes live in Texas. They have dedicated a wing down in the courthouse in Austin from all the divorces I've had, and so they're kind of, they know me. They know me there. I'm a meme. I'm over there in the courthouse. Oh boy, here comes Ice again. He's getting another one.
The hallway of the courthouse looks like a chain of command.
Exactly.
Over the years.
Exactly. It's like chain of command, but it's like they're all like different spans of ages and stuff like that, and whatever.
I remember when I had that mustache.
Oh my God, what is this? Oh whoa, hang on, this is Hall of Ground. This is the Hall of the Ice ex-wives. We have a special room here.
Now, have you ever gotten married and divorced in the same courtroom?
I'm trying to think. No.
See, that's your next goal.
No. I'm saying I'm trying to think. My marriage has been kind of, I'm trying to think where I'm trying to think about the most redneck married thing that I did, and I'm just trying to think that if I'd done it, and if I got divorced, let's put it this way. You're asking me basically if I was put in jail, got married, and got divorced in the same building. Is that what you're asking?
I mean, it's like, hey, you went to the justice of the peace. You got married in that courtroom, and then, say, deployment and a half later, you end back up in that same courtroom, but it's to file the divorce. That would be a good goal.
Well, I don't go out seeking ex-wives. You make it sound like the new Predator movie. Here comes Ice. No, that's not happening.
Your number 19's waiting next door.
Oh man, she better be good too. I'm getting old. By that time, I need to be pushing around a fucking wheelchair. Anyways, god damn it, dude, you're like freaking totally distracting the situation of what I was talking about. We're gonna do the main page update. So here's the deal. We are going to discuss about a detail coming up. I don't know if you guys saw a post on the main page. We covered this detail last year, and that was when our own Mud Puppy went out to the cemetery at Hunter Army Airfield and was documenting a detail where they did cemetery cleanup. We also covered the... We also covered, what was the other one we did? We did two of them. We did Fort Bragg, and we did Hunter, and then we did, I think it was Hood, right? Was it Hood, or was it Fort Sam? I can't remember. But anyways, on the main page, there was a post about that specific detail coming up. And when it does come up, we want you guys to, if you are in that lower area of the U.S., right above Florida, we want you guys to see if you can help out. Now, here's the thing. It's kind of weird. I don't get it. It's a privately owned civilian-owned cemetery. And so it's across the street from the Hunter Army Airfield Lemon Lot. and there is somebody who's there who's maintaining the property. This doesn't have the funds to resource it, which blows me away, because at one time I guess it was owned by the government or by the state or whatever. There's some notable people that are buried there, veterans, soldiers that have been buried in that cemetery. And so Saturday, the 23rd of June, not this Saturday, but next Saturday, starting at 8 o'clock until mission complete, there's going to be a cleanup. There's several units that are going to be involved as well, too. Now, I don't know if they're bringing their own units out, or there's going to be some CSMs out there screaming at people that this needs to happen and that needs to happen. For some reason, landscaping and sergeant majors go hand in hand. So there might be some things to do or whatever. But the last time when we sent Mud Puppy out there, he documented it and videotaped it and all that stuff. Videotaped it. He recorded it, and you were able to see members of the WTF Nation out there cleaning. So again, it's civilian owned. So due to ethical and legal, stuff, government mowers and edgers can't be used for the cleanup. So volunteers are needed to bring themselves and or the following equipment: mowers, edgers. I remember there was a dude last time, I think it was at the Fort Hood one, or I can't remember if it was Fort Hood, Fort Sam, I can't remember. Maybe it might have been Bragg. They brought riding mowers. There was like 3 dudes on riding mowers just doing the lawn while everyone wants to clean up. And they found headstones within the trees that had been in the underbrush. So, I mean, it's a really good thing, and also you're helping out the community. Obviously, they're going to need some pickup trucks and all that stuff. So garbage bags, shovels, right? And basically what you do to clean, to do yard work. If you're a unit, this would be a good time for you to have your soldiers for community service type stuff, to log in community service. If you got soldiers going to school, you want to give them some time off or whatever or something like that. That would be, I as a leader would give them, that would be an incentive. Hey, you bust a hump on Saturday, you do this and you'll have Monday off. If you do cemetery cleanup. That to me, I think, is an equitable and fair, a little reciprocal payment there. But again, that was the one that the staff at the main page wanted me to hit up real quick, because this is the one that needs to go out. So next Saturday, 8 o'clock, which is the 23rd, starting at 8 a.m. 0800 for those of you that still want to have haircuts and shit. Across the street from the Hunter Army Airfield Lemon Lot. That's where it's at. So, anyways, that's the deal with that. Studios, how come there's no okay? Vids are getting cut. I guess they're busy. They're trying to do some stuff, and they don't have time to mess around. Horizontal vids, not portrait vids. I know who does that. Anyways, it's annoying. But anyways, the next post for that one we're going to talk about on 14 July. We have a lovely lady, Miss Jerry Vannon, who is going to turn 98. She served as a nurse during World War II and served in North Africa, and followed the American forces to Anzio Beach, Italy. And much of her journey has been with all the nurses there in those combat zones. And so we're requesting that you guys send her out some birthday cards. So check out the main page for her address. But I'm going to say it's Miss Jerry Vadden, as in Jerry, as in with a G, and then Vadden, like Darth Vader, Vaden. I had to throw in a Star Wars reference. P.O. Box 501, Marion, Alabama 36756. And then, so again, make sure you send it. Her birthday's on the 14th of July. She'll be 98. Man, 98. That's all I'm talking about. Get it old school. And she's up.
That's some good stuff right there.
It is, man. I like giving out news like that. I don't like talking crap about USAREC because of what, because they're USAREC. But stuff like this is what it's all about. This is what this is what we're about. WTF Nation, we've always been able to, pull it out of the hat when times are needed, and you guys have been able to assist us with a lot of the things that we've been posting. A lot of stuff has been a lot of CAV, a lot of USAREC stuff, a lot of obvious stuff. I guess there's been a change at Fort Bragg. I don't know if you guys seen the flagged Snickers bar. I wish I had that as a first sergeant memento. That'd be kind of cool. So, That's like pretty.
So I actually almost bought you something earlier today.
What'd you almost buy me?
You know what? Yeah, I'll see if it might still be available. I'll send you a picture of it and tell me if you want it.
No, dude, come on, man. You know I am with gifts.
I mean, I thought directly of you when I saw this, so it just came to the team room.
I just saw.
I know you're a big.
Oh man.
I know you're a big fan of the the Vader. So
yeah. That's awesome. That's pretty cool.
It's a toaster.
Yeah, I see
it
that.
Was the Darth Vader toaster.
Vader toaster.
I thought it was pretty incredible.
Oh shit! You put it in the team room. Jose's gonna see it and buy it. Jose is a mad freak. Jose is a mad Star Wars freak. He loves Star Wars too. So a lot of his memes and references I didn't know were from Star Wars. I think me and him are pretty equal in the Star Wars knowledge. So he'll throw some stuff that so obscure that I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot that was in the book or that was in the movie. So he throws it out too. But you put it in there now. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna wait to see if you see his little sombrero pop in there. Then you know he's gonna grab it. It never fucking fails. Then he'll send me. He's like, he's check this out. Okay, so real quick, I know this has a lot to do with sergeant's time and it has to do with the military. There's been a lot of questions back and forth. Hey, did you know that we're not going to do Korean exercises? Okay, now look, we're suspending Korean exercises, indefinitely. We used to call them war games. Now everyone's saying, quote, war games. Like it's bad to call them war games again. What's going on? I thought we were making war games great again. What's up with that shit?
So I thought about this. I mean, every time I see these articles, I'm like, all right, we'll suspend. We'll not do those. That's fine.
Yeah.
And you know what? We train anyways. We don't have to go and do the show of force and tell them what we're gonna do if we do need to go over there.
Exactly. Exactly.
I mean, all it was just kind of a pomp and circumstance kind of show. Beat our chest a little bit, but we don't have to do those to go over there and whoop the shit out of little Kimmy if he doesn't do what's right.
Well, see, that's the thing. Everyone's telling me, Ice, when you're sitting there going off on, because I said something specifically. Minx said something, and I know that we're being listened to by other media outlets because there are several media outlets that grabs information from the main page, and obviously some of the stuff is ours too. I heard a host use some of the sayings that we say and sayings that I say to support their shows. And that's why I keep telling Flash that every time we broadcast something and we say something, the next thing you know, it happens.
Yep.
And I'm thinking, dude, we even said that the fact that why would you sit there and talk crap about something? Like, think about this. During Desert Storm, we did not know that there was going to be a lot of casualties. So what we did is we kept the media pool down. We had a media pool. Colin Powell, General Sorskov ensured that there was no media roaming around a freaking battlefield like they are now. You know what I mean? They were segregated, they were embedded, and that was it. They weren't going anywhere. So you didn't know what the casualty count was. You know what was going to happen. When it comes to big treaty stuff like this, I honestly think that everyone needs to shut the fuck up. Like, yeah. It's almost like you are there trying to handle a serious negotiation with a can of gas, and there's somebody with a lighter and somebody else with a match and somebody else with a torch. And that they know an explosion will happen if they get close. But they consistently, kind of test the waters.
Well, I look at a lot of these reporters, and I just think of them as the internet troll, fire starters. That just a clickbait. They're there to, just kind of incite more. And it's like, stop, just stay out of it. Shut up. You don't need to light the gas and light the rockets and have the explosions. Let's just see how this plays out. If the guy doesn't do what he says he's going to do, we have the means to take care of that.
Yeah, and that's the thing, exactly that. Like today, they said they weren't going to make concessions for peace. It seems like the media doesn't want this to happen. Like they don't want peace or some shit, because now today, military leaders on both sides, South Korean and North Korean leaders, have now been crossing back and forth at the what's that, Freedom Place, where that place where they got that brick, that raised up borderline, that where the two blue buildings are at. I don't know anything about Korea.
The DMZ.
Yeah, the DMZ. They're walking back and forth. They're walking back and forth, shaking hands and having meetings and drinking tea and all this other stuff. And I'm thinking, why would you even risk talking? Maybe it's because I'm a child of the Cold War. When there was the meetings between Reagan and Gorbachev, nobody knew what happened until it was in a book after he got out, after he was done. Nobody knew about the negotiation stuff. Everything was kept close hold because I guess it was pretty tense. If you ever read Reagan's books, I've not read Reagan's books because I'm not a raging freaking Republican. So that's I guess to Republicans and conservatives, there's next to the nightstand is the Bible and Reagan's book or something like that. I don't know. I don't know why anybody would want to jump in and just interfere with that. It's I don't get it. You want to sit there and you sat there and screamed up and down, and this is all the media. All the media. We even talked about it. Me and Flash talked about it on one of our shows about Fox News when it was all kicking off back and forth, and we were laughing because the following week, the talk shows were talking about what we were talking about, and then one of their lead correspondents, we even said, watch him go back and forth because he was dissing Obama and he was dissing this and this, and then all of a sudden now he's going to be Trump's new cheerleader. And we're talking about Sean Hannity. And sure as shit. Well, The Daily Show almost, it seemed like, and that's why I said people listen to us, it almost seemed like line for line of me and Flash going back and forth, somebody on The Daily Show did a video, pretty much the same thing we were talking about. And I'm thinking, holy crap. Look at this shit. Jose showed me the thing because he listens once in a while, and he likes listening to me and freaking the Flash going back and forth about sports and arguing. He listens to because he travels a lot and all that stuff. So he listens to all of our shows, and he says it's a good time to listen to some stuff, and waste by the time you're done you realize, oh shit, it was a good drive or whatever, and the show's already over. But we had like literally predicted new stuff of what was going to happen, and then we discussed something, and the next thing you know, it was literally like one of the major comedy shows took what we were going back and forth on. I think it's awesome. I think it's cool
for sure.
that we're not. Don't get me wrong. I want our soldiers. As a matter of fact, since there's no games, there's not going to be any war games. Hey, you Surek, there's all your detail dummies for this new recruiter thing you wanted to.
They're already ready for the strip clubs.
Yeah.
They've been over there with the drinking girls.
They're making it rain, baby. Think about that.
Saved a little bit of money. Give them another $10,000 on that credit card and send them back to the States.
Yeah, exactly. Well, exactly. There you go. They're also talking. Yeah, there you go. See, problem solved. Once again, WTF Nation Radio, Summer WTF Moments, ensures that all courses of action throughout the United States Army to help you Surek out to keep away from the warfighter. See, those guys should be rotating back and then going on those programs.
They've been in Korea. They're going to want to go more towards home, right? Hometown recruiting. Boom. They're right there.
Exactly. Well, not really hometown recruiting in Korea because Koreans want us out.
Yeah.
Koreans want us out. But I'm just saying, I think it's funny that now all of a sudden, think about this. Now, this is why I don't get, well, we don't have enough recruiters. Did we just not get rid of a bunch of online training? Did we just not get rid of all the war games in Korea? Then guess what? That's pretty freaking fitting for me. You can let them all out. Let them go do that shit. So anyways, going back to what I was saying, I was watching, because it was funny because we were on air with the guest, and while Korea was going on, which all this Korean back and forth, and then just listening to all the pundits, and just listening to everybody going back and forth. Everyone's going back and forth with oh well, the president this, the president that, the president this, the president that, the president. They just kept beating. I'm telling you, I don't watch TV anymore unless it's with the kids, watching some Netflix stuff, or watching the little ones kick some people's ass on Xbox. That's it. Because I don't even want to flip the channel today on the Food Network. This is why we make this food, because Donald Trump's a fucking racist. I'm thinking, God.
I actually shut my cable off recently.
Dude, I'm telling you, you can't watch anything. I can't even watch I like stand-up comedy a lot. A lot. I love stand-up comedy. Next, you know that dude, that red-haired dude that held up fucking Trump's head, Kathy Griffin.
Oh, yep.
Got all pissed off at Kevin Hart because he wasn't cracking on Trump. I'm thinking, have you not heard his comedy? Have you not heard he doesn't do politics.
Nope.
All of his comedy is relationship and kids. Which
you
is,
know,
well,
go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm just saying.
I was gonna say
it's fucking hilarious.
I mean, it is. And what's funny is, like, last night, my dad, I wouldn't say a diehard liberal, but he was a big Obama fan and everything. And I went and visited my dad last night, and we're sitting there, and he's like, and he puts on the news channels. He's like, what news channel you watch? I'm like, mainly Fox, because they're not always bitching about Trump. He's like, yeah, I'm about to quit watching CNN because that's all they do. And I'm just tired of hearing about Trump this and Trump that. He's like, Trump could cure cancer, and they would still bitch about it. And I just started laughing. I was like, whoa, Dad, are you okay? Like, are you going to die on this anytime soon?
Well, about this, I'm just saying, it's because, I can't watch anything. LeBron James lost. Is he going to go to the Cavaliers? Because Trump didn't want to blah, blah, blah in the White House and blah, 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 blah. Well, LeBron
he doesn't have to worry about that now.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, oh, stop. You know what? And it doesn't have anything to do with Trump. I didn't give a shit on all the other. You didn't hear about any other guys on that. I mean, I don't remember any of this drama going on with the other presidents when it came to news and sports. At all.
No, the only news that ever came out of the White House about sports was always like, you know, the president congratulates the national champions.
Correct. Yeah. And,
boom,
or
boom, done.
And
yeah.
done. And he won welcome to the White House. And or he had or he threw the first pitch, or he got a signed jersey, or that was it. That's really okay. Next, that was not a big deal. You know, everyone got into sports. Everyone was like, you know, now shit. Can't even watch the NFL.
Nope.
Can't even watch. You know, barely watch baseball. Everyone wants to have an opinion about some dude. You're not an API, son. Forget it. You are owned by a team. Now think about that. You are owned by a team under contract to entertain us. I leave. I know it's not Sarah's time now. I leave the confines of my house. I hate people as it is. So to get me to go from my house to a stadium is a feat in itself. And when I do, the last thing I want to see, all I want to see is a good baseball game, a good football game, some people falling down drunk down the stairs, eating some crappy food, showing my kids, you know, blah, blah, blah. But I go there to unwind, decompress, watch the flyover every time the national anthem's being played from all the helicopters or jets or whatever. Something that just gets you away from all the drama at work. And then you're sitting there, you know, the only stress that you have when you should be at the game, you're like, holy shit, $25 for a fucking hot dog? That type of stuff. You know what I mean? That should be your only worries about. But instead, we don't get that.
Nope.
I mean, it's to the point where now it's just not even, well, you know, you want to go ahead and follow the team, blah, 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 whatever. Now it's political in the way we do our education in the military. Yes, it has even hit that. A specific policy, a specific, doctrine change. It gets changed because of something, and immediately somebody jumps to and says, oh, that's because it was the last, whatever. Hey, look, we're on our third president, and we're still in Afghanistan. Think about that. We're on our third president in Afghanistan. This is W. Wasn't my fault, Ice. No, sorry. The third president. The third president, and we're still in Afghanistan.
And one of those had 2 terms.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, I was saying, and one of them had 2 terms of excellence, exactly. Exactly. Just drunk, falling down the stairs of excellence. See, exactly that. That's right, Joe. I want to see freaking, I want to hang out and, crack on my buddies and shit like that. But No, I'm just saying. It's just I just want to go and watch the game. I just want to go deal with whatever.
You want the entertainment. You don't want the politics.
Yeah,
you don't want them combined.
Exactly. That's why I pay my hard-earned double taxed money already. How is it that you're in the military and you pay taxes already on your own paycheck? So when someone says, I pay your salary. No, actually, I do. I'm actually paying for my own salary.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, so we're in our third administration and we're still in Afghanistan. Does that make any sense at all? We're having a U.S. Army recruiting command telling other units that they need to give up bodies because of poor practice. That's like throwing money at a bad school system, like in Detroit or something like that. Our schools are failing. $25 million for this special recruiting assistance bullshit. $25 million. I wonder if the president knows about this. Treasy, do you know about this?
So, I wonder, do we have the numbers on the recruiting amounts currently?
I'll put it like this. They didn't make mission. They're short, bad.
Right, but what I'm getting at is,
the Army.
A lot of the time.
No, I get what you're saying. The Army released.
We don't have the checks and balances with these government programs or the military programs to see if it's working. Okay, we are going to do this for 6 months, and then at that point in time, we are going to evaluate whether this has worked. And so we currently right now are pulling in 10,000 people, every month from across the nation. Now, doing this, we should be able to, if we're adding 1,000 recruiters, exponentially double that. So, say 30,000. If that actually works, then continue. But if it doesn't work, then scrap the whole program, and only, yes, you put 25 million aside for it. But if that if within that first 6 months, if that 25 million isn't spent, disseminate back to where it came from.
How though? How? Here's the reason why. The goal was 80,000 recruits this year, okay?
Yep.
So far, within the recruiting year, they only brought in 28,000. And I'm telling you what, and I'll tell you why. 3 presidents, Afghanistan.
Yeah.
3 presidents in Afghanistan. And also, you have to remember that the Army made a big mistake in 2014 by saying that we were too big.
Yeah.
And decided to just start cutting people left and right.
And they're not advertising on CNN, I don't think.
Well, they're not. That's what I'm saying. They're hardly advertising. Have you seen their freaking video? Oh my God, they're so old. Oh my God, they're still wearing the old, pixelated freaking uniforms and shit.
Almost Army of One stuff.
Yeah, almost. Army of One stuff would be better because at least the BDUs look like fucking OCPs. You know what I mean?
Running across the desert.
The guy running across the desert with a backpack, with a rucksack on, with dog tags flapping out. You got a uniform.
Yeah, and the Black Hawk flying over the. At least you're motivated off of that.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, somewhat, but I'm just saying. So they don't want to talk about it. There's several articles that have been published about this subject. They have been asked. The Army has asked them to put it down because they immediately threatened the. Well, this is a serious subject, and this is you're bringing up, this is OPSEC or this is whatever. You're telling the enemy, you're telling the enemy that we're really short in the Army, from the same media outlets that are telling our enemy that they want our president to fail. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, I already asked what was the reason why they were using the $25 million is for per diem, full per diem. So basically they're going to get somebody and pay them TDY to the max, which I doubt they'll get. How many specialists do you know get full per diem and a fucking rental car when they do shit? Not many. So, yeah. Ain't going to happen.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Well, I mean, they need their own rental car because Starbucks is probably a couple blocks away for the other recruiters.
Well, I mean,
coffee runs and
well, yeah,
and donut runs.
It just talked about there's people that don't want to. You're trying to tell somebody. Don't get me wrong. That's why I played General Perkins' video on the front of Sergeant's Time. Love General Perkins, man. I wish he'd retire. If they had just I don't know. Like I said, it seems like the 1970s freaking used car salesman, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a bunch of quagmires. All right, go giggity. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They don't. It's within like the caller said before. There's just so much toxicity in it. It's just unreal. I just couldn't be, like I said, I would be choking the fuck out of somebody if they were treating me the way some of the things we get in the inbox. That's why we don't care. You're a recruiter working USAREC ourselves. Please make sure we send them some numbers. I was looking at the scary part when I was getting all the emails, because people, they get my email and they find out, and it's can we get an email? I need to say something for about USAREC stuff, because they know I'm not talking about USAREC. Everybody knows I'm about ready to drop something. And Jose sent me some stuff, and then that's when I got an email stating specifically, hey, I'm in a critical unit. I'm in a unit that provides this type of thing for the Army, and they're taking people that will degrade this capability. And I'm thinking, what guilt trip? Why are they saying, it's everybody's job to do their part? See, that's socialistic bullshit. It's everybody's part. Spurs, you need to do your part.
I'm ready to do my part.
Do your part. Do your part.
I'll go back and recruit.
Fuck that. No, dude. I'm telling you, get all the individuals that are non-deployable. Sergeant of the Army has a hard on for that shit. He wants non-deployables to be out of the Army, but realistically cannot do it. Because if you think the Army is short now, you're removing all. I tell you what, those headquarters jockeys, those guys have been sitting in the headquarters forever and a day that are able-bodied, put them down on the line. Put them down on the line, and then get the non-deployable profiles. Make them. If you're non-deployable and you can't deploy ever in the Army, do you want to stay in the Army until 20? Yes? Okay. You'll be a recruiter. That's your end. As a matter of fact, to use this as an incentive, we'll even make you a recruiter at the place you want to retire and let you make rank to whatever, and then you kick ass and take names, and that's it.
No, you can't say that, because after this show, everybody's going to want to be in Texas.
You ain't lying, dude. Holy shit. There's some good bennies and stuff. No, I was talking to some individuals about that were getting out. Then because the Army's telling them to get out. They were we posted some stuff before on the main page that would say, I would be a recruiter if I could, so that way I could do 20. Like, it sucks, I got hurt or whatever. And then the next thing you know, they're like getting told they still want to serve their country. What's wrong with that? Just stop people from ETSing. 3 presidents, Afghanistan. That's all I'm going to say. They tried that. They did that with frickin', with Iraq, with the stop loss.
But we're too big.
But we're too big. No, but now we're too small. That's what she said. Now we're too small. You got to think about this. The consideration of all these people. $25 million. $25 million. A disruption of the Army's capabilities and infrastructure. And I will say this. God, if something were to happen and we were to have something happen that would require this type of capability, we'd be fucked. But anywho, on that note, once again, appreciate you guys coming out and listening and joining us for Sergeant's Time. Thank you, Spurs, for joining us.
Of course.
We got some bad news, and
yep,
it's kind of fucked up, but we just whatever. If you guys didn't notice, we have lost some hosts to move on to bigger and better things, and so, but they're still around. And so just want to let them know, hey, best of luck to you. The taco truck is going to get a new driver. And it's Spurs. You're talking to him right now. So once Spurs gets checked out in the taco truck, and Jose makes sure, is making sure that he's doing his QC and quality control with all the food that he makes and all the, the psychological tacos that you need for your day. Spurs will be the host of Taco Truck. Where does that leave KJ? Well, KJ is still part of the WTF Nation enterprise. He is the dude that runs WTF Nation Gaming. So if you see WTF Nation Gaming shared on the radio and shared on the main page, then that means that's KJ. So he's not technically leaving us. He's still with us. But I don't put people's business out in the street. Hit him up if you guys know who I'm talking about, and then that's it. There we go. So we appreciate you guys coming on.
Was this USAREC putting him onto a recruiting command?
Well, I didn't want to say the USAREC thing because I don't want people to freak out. Because the last time I said something on air, it caused a panic. I had the bosses at WTF, the founders, freaking emails going off at me, and I just made one word, and everyone freaked out. So, no, that's not the case. But again, best of luck to everybody else. So today we had Bryce Dubee, PAO from the Texas Veteran Commission. Again, not a veteran service organization, from the state of Texas. And 3 more hours. You guys want 3 more hours? Oh, man. 3 more hours. I haven't done an after show in forever, so whoever wants to pick up an after show can.
Thank you, Casey.
You want to do an after show? Is that what you're saying? She wants to do it.
No, she said go Spurs.
Oh, go Spurs. Oh, okay. Oh, go Spurs.
Oh, go
Spurs.
Yay!
Yeah.
I got my own truck.
Yeah,
we're just making sure all the equipment is nice and running smoothly. I don't want to burn anybody's burritos. So
yeah, exactly. I don't want no damn burritos burnt. So anyway, Bryce, we totally appreciate you coming on. I guarantee it that this was I did not know a lot of the stuff and legislation that happened in the state of Texas, and I'm glad to have a representative of a veteran commission from a state. God, it's another first. We're breaking history. So we had a first Army unit come on, and then we had now our first state representative. We haven't had a state representative come on before, have we? I don't know. Actually,
not that I know.
No, not that I'm aware. I don't think we've had. So the 82nd Airborne in the state of Texas, first. So Friday, we're going to have Jennifer Paquette from the Green Beret Foundation and Thomas Merrill from Special Forces Brothers. Jen and Tom will be on to come on about the upcoming auction, Don Shipman's Memorial SF Brothers auction, benefiting the Green Beret Foundation. Special Forces Brothers hold an annual auction on June 19th every year, benefiting the Green Beret Foundation. If you guys don't know what the Green Beret Foundation is, a great group of guys. They serve our Army's Special Forces and our nation's elite soldiers. Our nation's elite soldiers. Elite. They connect them with the resources they need to succeed for the mission ahead. Special Forces Brother was established in 2010 in a way for vetted Special SF Brothers to stay in touch and exchange stories and history about their Special Forces days. These guys vet people, man. They don't mess around. They actually kind of work with the Guardians of the Green Beret and Guardian of Valor, and pretty soon Guardians of Leos, I guess. There's going to be a group coming up pretty soon. Front Desk, I'll let you know about them coming on. Pretty excited. We'll have some real cases of Stolen Valor, Leo. That's the shit.
That sounds like fun.
Oh, that sounds fun because Stolen Valor for us, it's hard to fucking convict. And also, Stolen Valor Leo will throw your ass in jail. I love it. You know what I mean? Stolen Valor Leos will get you, in some states, it's a fucking felony. Some of it is a misdemeanor punishable up to a year in jail, but some of them is like a fucking, a felony. So I can't wait for, once we get more news on them. On the 18th, we're going to have Kelly Kennedy. She is coming on. She is a best-selling author for They Fought for Each Other, The Triumph and Tragedy of the Hardest Hit Unit in Iraq, and the co-author of Kate Germano's Fight Like a Girl, The Truth Behind Female Marines Are Trained. The award-winning journalist she's kick-ass. I'm going to say this. She was in Desert Storm, and then she was in Somalia, Mogadishu, Black Hawk Down time frame. So, and that place was, you don't have to see the movie. You all knew that, and it still is today. Somalia is a freaking chaotic country. Ungoverned country, I guess you'd say. She's one of the first only women to have served in the military and been in combat as a military and as a civilian and as a reporter. She spent several years working at USA Today, covering the Affordable Care Act, as well as veteran issues such as Gulf War, illness, and burn pits. That's going to be some brain picking right there. Because now the VA is kind of like saying, yeah, there's a registry, but they're not talking about what they're going to do for it. So she's working on a rewrite of her first novel as well as a nonfiction book about the Civil War. She joined the Army at age 17 as a way to pay for her college and to become a journalist. So after she left the military, she spent the first half of her career covering civilian issues such as education and crime at the newspapers that include the Oregonian and the Oregonian. How do you say that? Oregonian.
Oregonian.
Autobots. It's the Oregonians. They have teamed up with the Indo-Pacom. Anyways, and the Salt Lake Tribune, the grad school, and she went to the University of Colorado, focusing her studies on military policy and history and Middle Eastern politics. So she focuses mostly on military and veteran issues. Pretty cool. Tuesday, with Tied Up Tuesday, is going to be Rob O'Neill. Now, Rob O'Neill has been kind of the he's been kind of like the Jose of the VA. That's what would be the equivalent of. He'll find a story and then just like dime people out, and then if there's no action being done, he ratchets it up. So he is the guy from the Bay Pines VA that will talk about the mistreatment of veterans at the Bay Pines VA. It's been in the news. Bay Pines VA has been in the news and national several times for the neglect and treatment of veterans. And you all know, we know about this. So one of the stories that he's going to tell us, and I can't believe I'm reading this. I'll just let you hear the stories. That just reading this thing pisses me off. Damn. So, origami? No, it's not origami. But don't forget, we got a show every night, except for Wednesdays. That's our day off. I kind of like taking that day off Wednesday, so that gives everybody a time to decompress. I yell at everybody not to be in the freaking chats and all that stuff, and unless you're like goofing around throwing memes back and forth. But Wednesday, we like to generally kind of keep it low. Today's Thursday, so it's Sergeant's time. It's myself and rotating about, which brings me to my next challenge. If you are active duty, and you want to join me, throw in a nap. If you want to join me. Or recently retired or just out. How about that? I'll open it up a little bit. But you got to be quick in the skills with the regs and stuff like that. Because when I talk about active duty Army shit, I mean, got to have some active duty. So if you want to join me, I'd be honored if you join me. So I need a senior NCO to join me here to hang out. Friday is Friday Night Freedom with Minks and Pooks. Always giving you the straight Friday Night Freedom stuff. And it has to do with America. Saturday is Saturday Night Savagery with J Rating the Pooks, where it's no holds barred savageness. We actually take Savage to a new level because we purposely fight and appeal everything that Jay Reddy posts on his show from Facebook. Facebook says that Jay Reddy's stuff is offensive, and we have to do an appeal and blah, 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 blah. Up go the fake documents, and there you go. He's good to go. But you can recite the Soldier's Creed, Ari. Oh, man. So that's a show that we get a lot of flack for, but hey, you know what? We're the one that started it, and we're not changing ourselves for that shit. Sunday is Kicking It with Cause and The Owl. So that's a night of Team Old action right there, representing the old. That's what I'm talking about. Monday is the Monday edition with Flash and myself, talking about just barely news, commentary, and opinion. And then Tuesday is Tied Up Tuesday with Minx and Gray Cloud, where we get to hear the ever so lovely Gray Cloud rants. And those are funny. I'm listening. I keep listening more to the show so I can get his momentum down to imitate him, because I got Doc Madness down pretty good. Some of the bites that you hear Doc Madness on now, because I'm able to imitate him so good, some of those pre-records are me. So it's funny to hear everyone's reaction when I call up people and I say I'm Doc Badness, and everyone thinks, oh my God, you know, does your dick touch your ass type shit. You know what I mean? So
back to that team hold on Sundays, right?
Yeah.
Can you listen to them on a Walkman? Is it on a record player?
They're actually using their stuff on an old what was those fucking
sonograph,
sonophones or something like that. One of those things, it's a cylinder with little prickly things on it. It's almost like a music box. That's what they're playing it on.
They hold the cone up to their ear.
Yeah, exactly. That if you unplug it and it's desynthesized, then fucking beagles start running up to your phone and shit because it emits a sound that only dogs can hear at a certain frequency, and they start fucking following you home.
If you hear a random squeak throughout the show, it's probably just their walkers knocking.
Yeah, exactly. Real to real, exactly. Cause it's real to real. Oh man. Tell me more about this constant guest deal. No, it actually Kicking It with Cause is taking off.
Yeah,
I'm kind of hating. I think I need to throw some I need to have some I don't know. I think I might have to get some strippers or put some video of shit exploding or something like that, or because those numbers for those guys are, man. Maybe people like bitches love old. I guess I don't know. Shit. His crowd. He's got a good demographic. Now he gets a lot of. He grabs a lot of people.
You know awesome. What it is? He's got the end at the VFWs, and they broadcast him throughout the VFWs.
Well, that's what it is, huh?
Yeah.
He pipes it through the VFW old network.
Not the old network.
The old network, yeah. The AARP Mafia. I shouldn't talk shit. I'm the same age. But no. So every we have is 2000 to 2300, or that's 08 to 8 o'clock. Yeah, exactly. You do pull a great. It's only 2 hours. That's right. It's only a 2 hour show. I was gonna say from 8 p.m. until 20 till I can't even transfer myself to the military or from the military to civilian from 8 to 11 p.m. every night, with the exception of Kicking It with Cause, which is from 8 until 10, or 20 to 2200 for those of you who still want to keep your landscaping degrees up and your freaking 2062s. That's the show, and of course with the reintroduction of the taco truck, it'll be 12 to 1400. So
that's Eastern for me. I'll get up and you'll hear me drinking some coffee because that's 9 to 11 out here on the West Coast.
Oh, that's right. You're West Coast. You're West Coast.
West Coast. What brought to you on the West Coast?
Yeah, on the West Coast, East Coast, West Coast. It don't matter. We'll get you to your.
Listen in.
We'll get you to your taco truck, a lickety split.
If you're out here on the West Coast, I'll make you a breakfast burrito.
Yeah,
if you're on the East Coast, I'll spice it up. So throw some chorizo in there.
Exactly, man. DD214. Anyways, so that's it. So thank you for joining us for Sergeant's Time. I know I was pretty pissed off at the beginning of this, so I've calmed down a little bit. So and also did not know that there was no sound coming out of my fucking system because I was sergeanting so hard, and Mom distracted me with that freaking yoga mat thing. But anyways, once again, thank you guys. Hey, thanks again, Spurs, for joining me. And,
of course, anytime.
And then, Mom, welcome back. I'm gonna crack that whip and shit. You need to keep going. You guys are doing some outstanding work. It's good shit. So with that,
thanks.
Thank you guys for joining us, and stay tuned tomorrow for Friday Night Freedom. See you. Shots.
Oh, what? Happy birthday, Army.
Oh yeah, happy birthday, Army. Happy birthday, D Treasy, as well. It's Darth Treasy's birthday too.
Uh-oh.
Who'd have thought?
Happy birthday.
Oh. Of course, there you go with your freaking bashing again. So, all right, guys, y'all have a good night. Take it easy. Shouts.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
Think about the people who you know are over there. Your freaking stupid Uncle Louie or whatever. They're dumb. They're not like high-level thinkers. They're not academic people. They're not intellectual people. They're the freaking lowest of our low. That's why I came when the president's office says we have the best military in the world. President's anybody. I was like, no, we don't. The data is in. We don't have a good military. We haven't been able to beat these guys wearing freaking robes and chakras for 15 years. We haven't been able to beat anyone since World War II.
The data's in?
Well, that is just not an accurate description of the soldiers in the U.S. military and specifically in the U.S. Army. The U.S. military, for very good reason, is the most highly respected institution in our nation because not only of the education level, but of the character and commitment of those that serve. I have to tell you, and you've been around them, the passion that these people come in the Army with and the skills they bring to the Army. We have doctors, lawyers, combat infantrymen, cyber specialists. 17 presidents are former soldiers, more than any educational, civic, or civilian institution have come out of the Army. 450 Olympic athletes, over 100 gold, silver, bronze medals. In fact, next week we will have 9 soldiers in the Winter Olympic Games. So next week we'll have soldiers in Korea earning bronze medals for athletic excellence and soldiers in Afghanistan earning bronze stars for valor.
General, there's a danger, though, because you have cited all facts and you know the quality of people to serve, but you have a bunch of teachers who feel like that and feel free enough to blast you, the men and women who serve. That goes right against what you're trying to do, and that's recruit the best and the brightest for the best country on the planet.
Well, I'll just echo General Kelly's comment that the reason I and my family serve, both of my children are soldiers, the reason General Kelly's family has served is so that people have the right to express their feelings, and obviously he's taking full advantage of that liberty that we fight hard and afford him. I would offer to him, as somebody who is also involved in training and education, I'm sure he understands the mark of an educated person is an open-minded person who wants to learn as much as he can. So I invite him personally to come to my headquarters. I will introduce him to our Army, his Army. I will let him see his soldiers. I'll take him down to the Army Cyber Center of Excellence. I'll take him to Fort Leonard, where we train engineers. I'll take him to Fort Benning so he can meet combat infantrymen, and he can see the quality of people. And then I'll take him to Walter Reed and talk to wounded warriors, and in their own words, let them describe why they put sacrifice above their own personal safety to serve their nation. And then I'll take them with me the next time I have the honor to represent our leadership at Arlington for a funeral, and let him talk to the family members and let them tell him how proud they are of their sons and daughters that serve our nation.
Wow, extremely well said. You might have to keep him from General Kelly, if you don't mind, on that tour, because I don't think he'll be as diplomatic, but great, very well said. First